you know, it is the last of my cohort. It's been good. At this point, I mean, I've done once a month streams with It Gets Better for almost 2.5 years in a row. Like, I started here back in 2021. There was only one 6-month window where I wasn't streaming on the channel. And it really does just show, like, how much I've really appreciated being able to share myself, have this place, and be able to be here for everybody else. I know that 95% of the people who watch me here are going to be... I don't think Ian is on the stream here. So let me just fix that title. But, yeah, it's one of those things where I have been really excited to just be on here, talk about myself. I feel like It Gets Better has been this way of, I guess, giving me, like, the confidence to express myself more and be this, like, outspoken person. I think if I wasn't, like, working for the charity and working with It Gets Better as an ambassador, I probably would have had a harder time, like, being outspoken. Because I feel like representing this charity has given me, like, such sense of, like, pride that I want to, you know, fight for this kind of stuff and fight for things. You know, Twitch actually just announced, I can't pull up the scene here. Hi, Lash, how are you? Welcome in, hope you're doing well. But Twitch actually announced yesterday that they are establishing a Pride Guild, which is really exciting. And for the next 48 hours between yesterday and today, until like the end of tomorrow, they are taking applications for people who want to be the guild leader. And I applied to be a guild leader because I want to be that person. Yeah, a Pride Guild. We just got it announced. And, you know, I had said that I wanted to be, you know, somebody who can be this, like, outspoken leader. And I had said back in, like, December when I was talking to people in the Women's Guild, I was like, I really want to be this person for others and be this, you know, this outspoken voice for those who need it. Because I know for a fact that it's really hard, especially as queer individuals, to get, like, the proper, like, recognition and the proper support that we need. Oh my god, Allie, you're reading it early. Allie, oh, I don't have alerts on this tab. I forgot that I did not have my alerts set up here. So I'll have to get that. But yeah, if there's streamers, it's open to US and Canada. Let's go, lesbians raid. You need a nap, you'll be back. No worries. I'll keep the chat occupied. So, everyone coming in from Allie's stream. Hi, my name is Chloe, or beginning. My pronouns are she, her. You went it early because of those spoons. Hi, Allie. If you're not feeling it, I can talk to chat. I'll let Mia know that you ended up just really not having energy. I can figure something out. But, like, don't force yourself if you can't come on. Just let me know. Okay? I'll figure something out. I can always, like, pull up Pokemon and do some Pride Shiny hunts and change up the plans. But, how we all doing, everybody, from Allie's stream? I hope you enjoyed Allie's stream while things were working. I kept the tab open the entire time. Zoe, hello. You'll see how you're feeling at 5, but you're absolutely planning. Okay. Much love, much love. Go rest up. Ryan, hello. Haley, hello. How we all doing? I hope you all are doing well. Allie was slaying. Of course Allie was slaying. Have you seen Allie every day? Like, look, I've only recently gotten closer with Allie, and I'm very much looking forward to. So, I'm actually going to be in New York City for GoFest, and Allie and I are going to meet for the first time. It's going to be a good time, but I am excited that I've been like really feeling like isolated lately prior to like the past like couple months. And a lot of it was stemming from feeling just like I wasn't having as many like streamer friends. But I recently like made this like conscious decision to reach out to people more. And it's been primarily people from the Pokemon community. And yes, I know Allie isn't a Pokemon streamer, but Allie has been adopted by the Pokemon community based off of the fact that she played in a Fortnite tournament that we all did for Pokemon creators. So that was a I count Allie as a part of the Pokemon community. And so I've been like really thankful, and because of the friends that I've actually been making, I was going to talk about this. I went to New Orleans for a Pokemon event, and while there it was Pride weekend. So I got to go around the city and be there for New Orleans Pride, which was really exciting. But before we get into that, I also wanted to say, so It Gets Better sent me this cute little care package the other day. And in it, started off with this adorable American Eagle tote bag. So that was really nice of them to send. And then, now, I've already opened it because I use it. But in it is an e.l.f. primer, because It Gets Better is currently partnered with e.l.f. So that was exciting. Also have a lip oil that I haven't opened yet. Got some It Gets Better hockey tape. I'm not going to say no to colorful tape. Got a little collagen eye masks, which I should have used more, because I've been like swapping up my eye makeup routine and like my skincare, because I feel like I have such like sleepy eye bags that I'm like, I need to do everything I can to not look like that. So there was just like a lot of like little goodies in here. Got some stickers. And I'm excited. So a huge thank you from It Gets Better to send all these goodies. I've already started using some of them, but it was really nice that they sent out this like little package here. I always like to show off anything that they send us because I need to show my appreciation. But yeah, so story time. I was over at I was in New Orleans, and coincidentally, while I was in New Orleans, it was the same weekend that Pride was. It was not the intended plan to go to New Orleans during Pride. It was just a happy coincidence. And it was really cool for me because despite it being out for, let's think about this here. I have been out since 2017. So we're pushing 7 years that I've been out, but I've never actually gone to a Pride before. And I know to some people it's probably like, how have you not gone to a Pride before or whatnot? And I'm like, it's one of those things where I didn't want to go alone. I wanted to enjoy it with people. I wanted to experience those kinds of things. I feel like I am somebody who doesn't like to do things very often alone. That's just like always who I've been. And I don't know if anybody else has felt this way, but I feel like Pride is this like celebration. Like going to like a Pride parade and like a Pride weekend is this like celebration of, togetherness and openness and like, everybody's, but like, I feel like for me, I wouldn't get as much joy out of it if I didn't have somebody with me, even if it was a friend. So for a while, I wasn't ever really letting myself go to Pride. And this year, I finally went, and it was just, I remember I got in my Uber, and I had this anxious but like sweet old man who was my Uber driver. And at one point, he says to me, "So everybody else is in these outfits. you're coming out here. Why aren't you in anything rainbow? And I was like, you know, look, we tried. We tried. I was supposed to have rainbow sandals. They were too big a size and I had to return them. I had shorts, but they're too big, so they ended up being more like sleeping shorts. It was really hot, so I was going through clothes much faster than I intended. So I didn't have a rainbow outfit. I had rainbow socks. I did have rainbow socks on. But that was the extent of it. So I think, like, if I were to do this again, I would probably end up going down the path of, you know, packing more outfits, being more prepared, because I just was not prepared for it. You never been to a Pride Parade? Apparently there's one close by-ish. I think that they are, so my experience being at Pride, and like, I was there for Beyond the Parade. Being there for Beyond the Parade was just like, everyone was out and about. All the flags were at every restaurant. Like, you walked in every restaurant, there was somebody that would, I remember I got to the restaurant for dinner that we were going to. And as I'm ordering food, a lovely person walks in to the restaurant and just walks up to the register, hands the person a bunch of beads, says Happy Pride, and then walks out. And like, you know, that's just Pride. Like, that's just how it should be. We're celebrating each other. It was a really sweet moment. You know, the amount of people that were just living free. Hi, John. Welcome in. Hope you're doing well. You know, the amount of people that were just living free from it and enjoying the moment of being together. Thanks for following. It gets better. It was just this really, like, sweet moment. And there were so many of us that were hanging out together. A lot of the, we were a big group. I think some people, you know, I don't even know what everybody was in terms of, like, their queerness. And that's okay. Because, you know, we're all at different stages. And that's, like, the one thing that, I think is, like, really important for, like, Pride Month. And Pride Parades in general. Don't judge a person for not being out and expressive about themselves yet. You know, like, there are some people who might know who they are or have an idea of who they are, but haven't openly talked about it yet. The way I love you. Oh my god. Hi, Ian. How are you? I hope you're doing well. Good to see you. Good to see you. The amount of people that, like, I know that are in this, like, questioning stage, or they just, but, like, they still want to be at Pride and celebrate it, because even if they're not fully out, they can still enjoy the presence with everybody. I think that's important to recognize, because I feel like the past few years, people have been, like, really, like, gatekeepy toward Pride. You know, we're seeing a lot of, like, biphobia lately. Your skin is glowing. Oh my god, thank you. I actually started this new skincare routine. It sounds gross, but let me try to pull it up here real quick and show you what it is. It is a Korean skincare routine. I'll pull it up on the screen real quick. Actually, I don't know if I should, but it is called Snail Mucin, M-U-C-I-N. It is a, like, 4-step Korean skincare routine. I started it back on Saturday, and I love it so far. It's just 4 steps, but that has been, like, my go-to. You've heard of it? Heck yeah. Yeah, I asked my best friend. I was like, what is your skincare routine lately? Now you're gonna try it because of me? You're gonna make me all blushy and stuff. Yeah. There, you can actually, like, there's, like, a little travel size version of it. That's, like, I call it, like, the testing size. So, it comes with the 4, and it's on Amazon. I recommend that if you want to look into that one at all, if it fits your price point. But, it's literally, like, the TSA size. So, which is great, because I'm doing a lot of traveling over the next, like, month. I'm actually going to be heading out to Seattle, because next month is my birthday. And I'm going to be in Seattle for my birthday. Gonna go see a K-pop concert. I actually didn't, show it off. So, I'll have to show it off later. But, I have a light stick that I got. And I'm excited that I have a light stick for the K-pop concert. I forgot to show it off on my stream now. So, I'll hold off on showing it off here. And I'll have to take a picture and send it to my Discord. But, yeah, so, like, being in New Orleans Pride, it was just, everybody was so, like, it was such a nice vibe. At least, like, in the areas where it was, like, really happening. Like, once you got toward more, like, Bourbon Street, and the night kind of rolled off, I think it became less Pride and more just people out. But, between, like, the hours of, like, 2 o'clock until, like, 10 o'clock, was just, everyone was just out having a good time. The freeness that everyone felt like they had to be themselves and be true to themselves was just, like, such an endearing thing that it's, like, an inspiring feeling, you know? I would walk around there, and I would sit there, and I was like, damn, I'm underdressed for Pride, is how I felt. Like, I felt like there was more that I should have been able to do at a Pride parade, or more that I should have worn. I did pick up this, though. I got this cute little, rainbow opalite cat rock that I bought. And we specifically got I got this one specifically, because it's kind of, like, rainbowy, with, like, the light reflecting through it. So we were like, this is the Pride one. So I have the Pride cat. So that was, like, really just, like, a sweet experience. The parade was still happening when we got there, and the streets were blocked down, and, you know, like, for the parade and everything like that. And it just felt like there was not a like, single bad thing that I saw happening during that time. And that really just, like, it meant a lot to me, you know? I felt like I was really happy that I was able to just see nothing but, like, sweetness and kindness and, again, everyone just loving each other, because that's what Pride should be about. Like, love yourself and, you know, just be able to celebrate with each other. We take this month to obviously talk about a lot of what's been going on in the world, and it's an important month to highlight all of that, but we should also be highlighting each other in our, you know, joy that we can celebrate with each other. I think that it is one of those things that I feel like I felt nothing but joy being there for people who, myself included, it was my first Pride parade. Like, it might not be my first Pride out, but it was my first Pride parade. So, seeing all the people who, like, it makes me want to be like, next year, I need to go with people. I'll be living in Seattle by then, and I know Seattle Pride is actually, like, kind of a big deal, too. Because if you don't know, Nintendo is actually, like, a big, like, Pride supporter of their parades. Like, I've actually, like, I can pull up a display capture real quick, but there were pictures that I was actually seeing on, like, the internet, like, social media, passing through, And it was just like really sweet thing, because if we look here, I'll pull it up in a second. I'm just trying to get it like cropped. But yeah, if we look, like, look at that. Like, there's the Play It Proud with Nintendo, and all the like Pride area here. Like, so that makes me excited for being out in Seattle and being out in that area, knowing that like that's the kind of area that I will be around. So they were officially a sponsor that for Seattle Pride. And if they're doing that this year, I imagine they'll do it next year. And that's exciting. So, it's nice to see. It's nice to see. I'm looking forward to being able to do that with, you know, friends. Because this one I had to travel for. But my real hope, sorry, my eye is really itchy. 1 second. My hope is to be able to do this with my friends, even if like not everybody is gonna want to go. Just like have like 1 or 2 people to go around with. I think that's a good experience. And so after going one time, I feel like for me, I'm like, I need to keep going back right now. If I have the energy and the desire for it, that's how Pride made me feel. It made me feel like at a Pride parade, like, I want to go back. And I feel like I am a pretty, like, proud person about myself. I think I don't try to, like, I remember when I first came out, I used to hide saying I was trans. Because I did not want people to have preconceived judgments toward me. Because I had been burnt by that in the past. I had been burnt by people assuming because I was trans that I was depressed all the time, or this, or like that. And so for a while, I was holding like that part, and I was like, I just want people to know me as Chloe. And that was like, I realized for me, like, that wasn't helpful. Because I needed to do more for myself. I needed to be out there, not only for me, to wear that with pride, but also I wanted to show people that I wasn't afraid of, you know, any preconceived judgments that people might have with me. And I think that was important. Also, I'm going to put some eye drops in real quick. So, 1 second here. I'm just going to cover the camera and put some eye drops in. And I'll still talk to you all. But yeah, like, I wanted to show that you know, like, whatever preconceived notions about me, you know, I'm a happy woman. I am proud of myself. I am proud to be this voice and be this outspoken individual. Because I think that I also want to be that voice for the voiceless, or that voice for people who need to hear it, that might give them like a confidence to be able to do this, or a confidence to be able to be themselves. Like, I always was saying on my own personal channel, as much as I want to grow as a content creator to financially secure myself and be able to do this for a living, I also kept saying, imagine just putting a 0 at the end of my viewership number, whatever that is. How many more lives I could impact, and how many more people I could help. And I'm not saying, like, you know, raise money for them, like, and not help, but just, like, being this visible trans woman on the internet in a sphere dominated by cis hetero men. Sometimes that's just what we want to see. Sometimes that's just what we want to see, like, and need to see. Some people don't get to see themselves in media that they're watching. you and your community have given you the confidence to try and play with your fashion, and I come up. And in space, it's been incredible seeing you, like, develop that confidence in that journey. Because, for me, again, like, that's just as important to me. I feel like I'm accomplishing something. You know, starting in August, it'll be 7 years in August of being a content creator. And I have, you know, humble brag time. I've won Twitch Rivals. I've played on tournament stages. It lands. But I'm going to remember moments like what Space is saying, as much as I'm going to remember those big victories and those big accomplishments. Because that's my impact on people beyond the entertainment. Hekana, how are you? Beginning. So it's beginning, like the word, and then instead of B, it's bay. Or you can just use Chloe. And that's all good. You can ask away. Thank you. Welcome and hope you're doing well. Yeah. So, I feel like that's such a huge motivation to be able to still do this and be in this industry for me. I want to keep having that impact on people. I want to keep being able to show people that, hey, you can see yourself in this industry. You can do this too. It's a lot, but again, like, you know, I wear everything with a badge of honor. That pride badge, in a sense. That's me right now, is... You have a movie night? Ooh, what movie are we watching? That's exciting. You know what? Not movie, but media. They announced recently that I am so excited for. We're getting a new Life is Strange game with Max again. I am so excited. And it's like the perfect time. Like, they knew that they were announcing that during Pride Month. The gays stay winning. I am so excited for that. I have never really, I don't talk about it too often. But Life is Strange is still one of my favorite franchises of all time. Now you're on the old animated Barbie movies. I have never seen an animated Barbie movie. Aside from a YouTuber who watched all of the animated Barbie movies in a week and summarized them all in one video. And I learned so much about Barbie then. Yeah, Lost. I'm so excited for it. Like, I remember... So it's funny, because my cousin is a, as far as I am aware, a cis hetero male. He's the one that played Life is Strange before I did, and told me how good it was. And I was originally, like, hesitant toward playing it. But ever since then, I was like, oh, this is amazing. I remember crying, not wanting to beat it. A week, you could watch them all in one day? There's like 40 plus movies there. I think that, like, that's impossible to watch them all in one day. I think it's like 50 plus hours. You should play. Yes, Zaz. I would recommend it. Well, I also think you would really appreciate it. Also, Tell Me Why is also made by the same... You wouldn't know where to start, though. Just Life is Strange. Like, the first game. But Tell Me Why is also made by the same developers. So, Tell Me Why is currently free for the entire month of June. So, that's another one you could do. Trans characters. Good representation. Are they on the Switch? Let me see if Life is Strange is on the Switch. Life is Strange. I don't know what it is on. It is on the Switch. Yes. The first game is at least on the Switch. And I am unsure if Tell Me Why is, but here, I'll pull up the timeline real quick for you. Just so you have an idea of what you're looking at. So, this is the Life is Strange timeline. So you have Life is Strange, Before the Storm, and then The Adventures of Captain Spirit, which is another free one. Life is Strange 2, Life is Strange 2 Colors, or True Colors, and then the most recent one is going to be Life is Strange Double Exposure. That's going to be the one that drops next year. So, very exciting. Very exciting. Thank you for following. It gets better. You didn't play Life is Strange 1 because you... Or Life is Strange 2. So, I don't think... I think Life is Strange 2 still did really well. It was Before the Storm that I think a lot of people were not as happy about. Just because, it still did really well. It's still an award-winning game. It was just a prequel to everything. But I still think Before the Storm does such a good job at its storytelling. So, I think that I cannot recommend enough people try the Life is Strange games. If you really Zaz, if you want to message me about it, and if it's something you want to check out, by all means, you can DM me. We do be talking daily at this point. Life is Strange is the first game that made you cry. Let me think. What would have been the first game that made me cry? I think Kingdom Hearts. Happy Pride! Pokemon and it gets better. We've been talking about Life is Strange. And I was also talking about how Tell Me Why is free currently for the month of June for Pride Month. So I've been trying to share the joy of Life is Strange with people. And why it's just so good, especially to play during Pride Month. So, I have been, I still haven't played True Colors. I think that'll be something I sit down and get to at some point soon. Hi, Charlie. How are you? I hope you're doing well. Juby, hi. How you doing? I hope you're doing well. Okay, Juby, this is a question for you. I know it's not Animal Crossing, but are we excited for Hello Kitty Island Adventure? Because the more that I talk about it, the more that I am excited for that game. It's just, to me, I'm like, I will take Animal Crossing meets Sanrio. It's gonna be such a cute time. Yes, OMG. I am so pumped for it. I saw that game, and I was like, wait, I wanna go on a little island adventure with Cinema Roll and Keropi and My Melody. My best friend and I, we really are the embodiment of Kuromi and My Melody. Even, I'm going to a concert next month, and she's wearing black, and I'm wearing pink to the concert. You've played it a bit on the phone, and it's really cute, and you can't wait to play it on the Switch. I wasn't sure if the phone version was going to be the same as the Switch version, because I heard it was on the phone. But I didn't know how different they were going to be. You love that? I am excited. I'm gonna it'll be also my first concert that I'm going to. Not only being out and being myself, but also it's the first concert I've gone to in over a decade. And when I tell you the outfit that I'm doing is also really pushing what I normally wear in a good way. I'm doing this for myself, but I've really realized over the past couple months that I've just been really developing a lot more body confidence and trying to really express that. For those that don't know, I got my bottom surgery back in February. And so, for me, I was like, okay, this is what you've been waiting for. Now let's really figure out your style, figure out what you like, figure out your aesthetic. And so the summer, and especially June, have been a lot of me exploring that side of fashion and clothing, and trying to like figure myself out with that aspect of things. I know some of the people who come from my stream can vouch for it. Where, for instance, an example that I was thinking about last night. I used to wear, I used to wear tank tops, but I would wear them with like a hoodie and like hide my shoulders. But lately, I just kind of like, I've been so comfortable in like a tank top for stream. And just something like that is something that I can see like the progress that I'm making with myself. Because I, like, I'm seeing, I don't feel like I need to hide part of myself. I'm developing that, like, self-love, that pride in the body that I have developed through, you know, just being myself and pushing for the goals that I wanted to. And that's a really exciting time. Also, for those that are curious, my friend Allie, who is going to be coming on in a little bit, she needed to take a nap before we started. So she's going to be here in about 20 minutes. Hopefully, I know she said she might not be feeling great, so I might have to do today alone. And that's okay if not. But I know that I did advertise Allie, and I don't want it to, sound like I'm not bringing her on. I want her to take care of herself first, and if she is feeling good enough to come on, then I will bring her on when she is ready. So, that is our, like, last update that I had from her. But yeah, like, just, like, the games that I feel like anime is also something that I've talked about this a bit too, where anime really should have been this, like, wake-up call for me, and this, like, badge of, like, and, like, this pride sense. I watched Ouran High School Host Club when I was 11. And I remember watching it, and I sat there at the end of the series like, oh, why I like Haruhi so much? Why I relate? Why I don't get. And it was like something that it really took, like, like, those are the kind of moments that I feel like over time I should have been able to, like, figure that out. And it was so early on in, like, my watching of, like, media. I remember, like, the dreams that I would have. And, like, we were talking about, like, clothes a little bit ago. I remember my middle school was doing a, like, fundraiser, and they were selling clothes for the school. You know, like, shirts, t-shirts, shorts. And I remember I liked a pair of shorts. And everyone was talking about it, like, oh, what are you gonna get? What are you gonna get? And I pointed to the like the shorts that were designed for, women. Obviously, keyword is I say design because anybody can wear them, but middle school brain. And I had people be like, that's for girls. And I felt like all embarrassed and like reserved from it, where it was things like that that I think really gave me a hard time to want to express my gender identity. And like to this day, I'm still like, yeah, I love those kinds of shorts, but I never let myself wear them until I came out. So it's one of those things where, like, you also don't realize just how impactful your words can be unintentionally. Like, something like that stopped me from wanting to express myself in high school. And this was like 7th, 8th grade. Once high school came around, I was in really baggy sweatpants and oversized clothes every single day. Because I just... emo dudes were wearing the women's jeans. Yeah, literally. Like, I had friends who would buy, like, women's skinny jeans. Because that was the vibe. That was... But, like, God forbid I wore those shorts. No. It's one of those things where I just am like... There were so many things that were gendered growing up that I was scared to like. I've talked about this a couple of times where Powerpuff Girls was like one of my favorite shows growing up. And I got made fun of for liking the Powerpuff Girls when I was like 3 or 4 years old. Like 3 to 4 years old. And kids are making fun of me for liking a cartoon. Like, that's how ruthless people were at that time. And after that, I would avoid watching shows that were not geared toward my demographic. I feel like there is just so much that I'm letting myself relive now and enjoy. Now that I am a confident woman in who I am and who I present myself as. And I'm not going to let people dictate what I like or what I don't like. I think even when I was coming out at first, and I think I can't speak for other trans women, but I feel like we almost like to dive head first into extreme femininity when we're first coming out. Because for me, I didn't allow myself to. And now that I am out, I am... Can Amaga take care of that real quick? And I am now, you know, just like paying attention to it. And I am seeing what I am into and happy with. So, she, her, my pronouns are right here. It's right here. Hi, Danielle. How are you? I hope you're doing well. Yeah. So, I feel like I dove, like, headfirst into extreme femininity. And I'm now, like, realizing what, like, I want out of my, like, femininity. And what I am just willing to, you know, say is like, you know, my level of femininity. Because my level of femininity is gonna be different than somebody else's. And my expression of my gender is going to be different. But I had to, you know, dive into all of the stereotypical things about it. Because it was my only, like, way of exploring myself. And my only way of being able to, you know, try all the things that I wasn't allowing myself to. So that whole diving in head first, and then I could kind of reel it back once I figured out what I liked and what I didn't like. But I feel like if I wasn't judged growing up, or I wasn't, you know, feeling like I was not ridiculed for the things that I was possibly going to be interested in, that maybe it would have been an easier time for me to figure that out. And I think that that's like one of the sadder parts for a lot of people. Because I know I'm not alone in that feeling. Where you're scared to express yourself, scared to express your likes and interests. So, for a lot of people, when you are finally able to express that, you're diving into the extreme end of it all. Thank you. So it was just like one of those things where I felt like I started to allow myself to figure more of that out. And even like right now, it's still been this like journey of that self-expression and that pride part. Like my clothing journey has been such a vastly different experience, and just seeing my growth in clothes and that confidence in myself. You really don't like how children's stores are gendered? It makes it really annoying for society. Yeah, 100%. Like, it really is this thing where I feel as though we put, like, even like something like a gender reveal party. Like, my sister-in-law had one for their child that they just had. And I just sat there and I was like, I really hate that, like, society puts this gender expectation on you the moment of a gender reveal. Like, if I were to be able to have a kid myself, I wouldn't want to do a gender reveal party. Because for me, I'm like, why is it that I need to, you know, like, feel like I'm forcing expectations on a kid? I feel like these early age forced expectations only lead to a harder time later on when people want to explore themselves. Zaz, you can take care of this. Yeah, your best friend's stepdad didn't want his son having baby dolls until he was like 4? Exactly. You did not shop in the little girls section? I remember Toys R Us had stuffed animals gendered. And I hated that stuffed animals were gendered in the girls section because I just wanted to buy a bunch of stuffed dogs. Like, I had a collection of like 30 or 40 stuffed animal dogs at Toys R Us. And I felt like I was like feel like afraid to, you know, like walk down that section. Another area was there was a store called Limited 2, and they sold Neopet plushes, and I loved Neopet plushes growing up. And I did not like that people would give me looks because I just wanted to buy a Neopet plush, you know? I would ask, and like even my mom would question me when I wanted to go there because I just wanted my little Neopet plush. I think after a certain point, because they were small, I think I owned like 30 or 40, but I would only ever go to that store in order to buy them because they were the only place that I knew had them. Yeah, I played Breath of the Wild. You don't know, you have issues with pink clothes, even in your, oh, you don't want something, yeah, like, it's crazy that you're in your 20s and your dad is still, like, trying to, like, judge that aspect of things. You know, it's one of those things where I feel like hang on one second. I feel like I'm trying to get my thoughts back together. I feel like I now, like, you now see, like, it's funny, it's so interesting because, like, guys were, like, it was the ironic thing to like pink growing up. And something like purple is a color that was originally designed for, like, masculinity and royalty that got genderized toward, like, a more feminine audience. And it's so, like, fascinating that, like, the culture has, like, shifted it in such a way. Because, like, I feel like it shows that, like, colors are fluid and, like, what we're allowed to like and what we're not allowed to like. You know? It's really silly that, you know, something like a color is supposed to be given to, you know, one gender identity and not like another. There's colors everywhere in the world. I don't know. It was always like really silly to me. So Pride is like, you know, it was so nice being out and just seeing everyone wear whatever they wanted and have that like comfort, you know, walking around at these parades, and it was sure like everyone was just able to, you know, feel like Pride was that freedom of expression of who you are, and it showed. Like, the amount of people that I saw who were just like living their best life, wearing what they wanted to, how they felt, and there wasn't like any like outwardly looks. It was just everyone's just enjoying themselves. Everyone's just trying to enjoy what they are, who they are, and how they want to be perceived. And I think like that's what I want to uplift. I really appreciate hearing other people's stories and experiences, because we can uplift each other's stories, but then on top of that, we can also, I think it's really nice, like, you know, having storytelling only lets you get other perspectives, and when you get all of these, the amount of stuffies that I have, thank you. Hang on, I'll even turn the camera more for you, because it stretches a little bit more. That's the full. That is the full bed. What you get is the centered camera version. Thank you for following. It gets better, Cat. I hope you're doing well. Yeah. That is my actual bed. Oh, actually, you know what? I'm missing something here. There you go. There you go. Might as well just leave it right there for y'all. That's what I was missing. That's what I was missing. That needed to be on the bed today. Thank you. Extra pride. Extra pride. Exactly. You think you see a Sylveon? Yes. You do see a Sylveon. Is it right? It's buried. Wait, oh. Sylveon's like all the way back here. It might be off frame. But yeah, here's Sylveon, like right there. She's there. I got a lot of the evolutions. There's an Umbreon, there's an Espeon, there's an Eevee, there's a Sylveon. Not an evolution, but I also have the Galarian Ponyta. There's a lot of other Pokemon here. Togepi, Clefairy, Jigglypuff, and yes, the shiny Zorua. I look forward to being... I've actually been in Pokemon. For the past month, I have been trying to shiny hunt for Pride Pokemon. Like, trying to match the... like, the flag to, like, Pokemon that I'm getting. So, you know, like, shiny Zorua's blue and white. And then you get, like, a red one, or, like, a pink one, and then you have, like, the trans flag. And so I've been trying for this, like, entire month to get as many flags made out of the shiny Pokemon. And it's been a really fun time. Bungie just released their Progress Pride Emblem for a $10 donation. It gets better. Let's go! I will say, the amount of, like, it gets better that I have been seeing, like, it really shows how much that it gets better has, like, been able to reach. I'm a pretty outspoken person for it gets better. So, my merch company that I work with, they do proceeds to It Gets Better for the last 2 years, maybe even 3 years. I'm a part of a raid train with all of the Unity guilds, and they're raising money for It Gets Better, and it just, like, I'm like, heck yeah. I love that, because, like, there are so many different charities and so many good charities, but it makes me happy that, like, I feel like my suggestion of It Gets Better ends up being this thing that people are... This thing that people are, you know, like, gravitating toward. So, I appreciate it. It makes me happy to see that, because I'll be honest here. When I started It Gets Better, which is over 2.5 years ago at this point, I didn't necessarily know what the charity was about, and I did my research on it. And now I love it. Like, I always say that if they offered me a job to work there, and, like, actually, like, work there, I would probably take it. I would probably take it. Because, like, the reality is that I feel like I do a lot with It Gets Better, and I feel like I've done a lot of good, and I really appreciate being able to continue to work with them, and I want to continue to be able to do that even beyond my time as, like, an ambassador, you know? So I feel like I don't say this to be like, oh, you know, can they hire me already? This is just me being like, hey, I really like what I do here, and I think it would be really fulfilling to do something like this beyond my career as a content creator. That would be a good job for you, thank you. I think that's also why I want to do the Pride Unity Guild leader position, because I want to be put in these positions that I can empower other queer people that maybe have a harder time feeling empowered or feeling seen. So that's, like, a big thing for me, is wanting to further that feeling and further that like, empowerment of others, the way that I feel like I have been able to get empowered over the years. You've actively been trying to get a job working with LGBTQIA+ orgs. She graduated with a degree in anthropology, so you really want to give back. I think that's, yeah, and, like, it's totally commendable to, like, want to do something like that. I feel like a lot of us have voices, and a lot of us want to share our voice, but we live in a world where it's really easy for our voices to get washed away in the crowd of everything going on. And so if there's people with these organizations or these charities that can just not even have to be a liaison, but just feel like you're being represented in the way that you want to be, I think is a satisfying feeling. Something that just makes me feel good and feel like I have been able to achieve the goal, like, I to get my fulfillment. I'm not saying I need to help other people, like, I need this to feel fulfilled, because I feel like that almost sounds, like, shallow, because I love doing this. The fulfillment is just an extra bonus for it, you know? I talked about it at the start of the day, where I feel like I have felt that I have become empowered because of It Gets Better. I don't think I would have been as outspoken as defending as just, like, this person that wants to help see change for the world if I wasn't here. I might have taken a while to get there. Maybe it would have taken me a little bit more time. But I feel like working with It Gets Better has only furthered that, like, push that my mom, she says that I should be able to, she says that I should go to, like, high schools and be, like, the public speaker there. Good morning, Allie. I hope your nap helped. My mom, if she wasn't still at, my mom just retired from being a teacher. But I think if she had stayed on teaching, she would have tried to convince me to, come out to school and talk during Pride Month. I don't think it would have gone over well for the town that I live in and the area that we live in, but I know she wanted me to do it. So I think it's nice. Like, I think I wear it as a badge of honor that people think I'm well-spoken and eloquent enough that they want to listen to me and they hear what I'm saying. You're gonna freshen up, you'll be there shortly? Alright, sounds good. Thank you for following It Gets Better. Chat. I'm gonna let Allie freshen up. I'm gonna use the bathroom. So I'm gonna put up the BRB screen. I'm gonna leave you with a little bit of music. And when I get back, I think Allie's gonna come on. We're gonna talk Pride with each other. So I will see you all in just a moment. Appreciate you. Okay, I am back. Appreciate the patience, everybody. So yeah, in just a couple minutes, our lovely friend and fellow ambassador, Allie, is gonna come on. We're just gonna talk about, like, our Pride experiences. I think I always like to do this at least once during Pride Month, where I bring on, either on my own personal stream or on It Gets Better, just somebody to talk to about, like, their own experiences, and especially, like, on this platform, because I feel like being on a streaming site and, like, in the YouTube world and everything like that is sometimes dealt with, like, a lot of, like, backlash and negativity and hatred if you're not, in the main demographic of the platform. And it's one of those things where I think being able to talk about our experiences positively only helps to share, like, that you can do this here. You can be on this platform. You can enjoy what we're seeing. You can, you too can do it. Like the charity name suggests, It Gets Better. And being able to have more conversation here only furthers people being able to see themselves in what we're doing here. And that's pretty good, pretty exciting. And I think, like, that's just, like, a huge motivator for me as time goes on. So, I'm excited to share some stories with you. After all, I've been doing this for 7 years. You could ask me anything, and I probably, like, I started on Twitch shortly after affiliate became a thing. Like, I was watching Twitch before people were able to even get affiliate on this platform. Want me to hop on Discord? Yeah, I can call you. So, I'll call you on Discord real quick, if you're ready. Okay. Let me just get myself prepped up here. When Twitch was still broadcast in black and white. Yeah, the days when it was just, you know, just in TV and the black and white broadcast days. Exactly. Alright. I'm just waiting for Allie to confirm I can call. Okay, we're good. Hello? Let me turn you up here. I know you're not going to come through on the other monitor yet, so we're good. I'm just getting everything all set up here. Okay. Now, if I do this, will I be good? Let's find out. Camera 1, do you want to work? Okay, camera 1. We're on. Aw, camera 2 is a little off. Hang on. I messed that part up. It's okay. I was 1 for 2.
Oh.
I tried to prep getting all the cameras set up ahead of time, and I borrowed a friend to be in the Discord with me when I was trying to crop everything. But then I forgot your name is going to be before mine in the list. So I had it set for, like, the right side of the screen.
Can chat hear me now? Hi,
yeah,
chat.
they can hear you now.
Hi, chat.
Alright, you are on the screen.
I am?
Yeah.
Oh, now I have it open on my other monitor, so I can see chat still. And it was a little bit delayed, but hi, everybody.
Hi. Well, thanks for coming on. I appreciate this.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate you inviting me.
Of course. I've been really bad, honestly, when it comes to, like, for the last couple times I've been an ambassador, I've said I'm going to bring on somebody, and then I just never got around to doing it. So it was like a week before, and I was like, I want to talk to Allie. Let me see if Allie is available, especially for Pride Month. Like, because
I love yapping, especially about being gay. So I'm honored you wanted me here.
You know, well, like, it's something that you and I have recently gotten, like, closer over the last little bit of time, and I'm like, it'd be really, like, we didn't really, like, get to know each other. We kind of just sat there and, like, chatted and hung out for a little bit, which was still good. But I think that we both have our own experiences right now that is really nice to be able to share and talk about, especially because, like, I think you said did you just celebrate, like, 3 years on the platform? Am I right?
No. I will be celebrating 3 years in September.
Okay, I knew you were close to 3 years. I wasn't 100% sure. So yeah, you've been on this for quite a bit too. Like,
this month is my 4th year of using Twitch and having a Twitch account, but streaming. My 3-year anniversary is in September. I was on Twitch for a year before I started streaming.
That's okay. Technically, I made an account on Twitch back in, like, 2012, and then I didn't actually, like, start to talk on chat in Twitch until 2017.
Wow.
Yeah, I was watching esports on this platform, so, like, I was real early on it. Yeah. So, yeah, first of all, happy Pride.
Happy Pride Month.
Yeah. So, I wanted to come on and have another ambassador just to be able to, you know, talk about our experiences, both, like, in the general sense of the world and also just, like, on this platform, because I'm sure you probably have some experiences as well, and just kind of bring this time, because I was talking about this where, you know, a bunch of us were down in New Orleans last weekend, and part of it was there for Pride Month, and everybody was just all expressing of themselves, so happy, so, you know, excited to be around, and it was just, like, this time where it reminded me that I just like to bring the positive out from, like, our experiences and share it with everybody else, because I feel like all that really does is just bring the world together a little bit more. Apparently we look related.
We look related? I love that so much.
Our hair, like,
at GoFest, because Chloe and I are actually meeting IRL for the first time in July. So we'll wear matching outfits, take a picture, make the same face.
Exactly. I think it's the glasses, same hair, like our hair lengths are pretty similar. It's just
Yeah.
different hair colors. I can
Yeah.
see it. I can see it.
I see it too.
And we're
We
both from
both
the
have
same.
nice smiles.
We both have nice smiles. We're both from the same areas.
Yeah. Exactly.
Maybe we're learning something about ourselves here. So, for those
Yeah.
that don't know Allie, between either new people in the stream or people that watch me, why don't you introduce yourself a little bit first?
Of course, my name is Allie. I am an Animal Crossing variety streamer here on Twitch. I use she, her pronouns. I am an ace lesbian. And I'm happy to be here. I've been an
Yeah.
It Gets Better ambassador for a little over a year now. And I'm so obsessed with it. I love It Gets Better so much, and the cause and working with this nonprofit has brought me so much joy. And getting to meet people like Chloe through it has just made this experience so incredible. And I even get to do an event at my work on Thursday.
Oh,
Um,
that's
I don't
exciting.
want to dox myself, unfortunately, so I won't be sharing and
That's
promoting
okay.
this much. But I work at a clothing store outside of streaming, and we're doing a Pride event that I planned where we're raising
Oh my
funds for
god.
It Gets Better
Oh,
on
I love
Thursday,
that.
and I'm so excited.
Yeah, you
I
should
wish I
be.
could tell you all about it, but I don't want to dox myself.
No, no, no. That's totally fine. Like I get it.
Yeah.
I feel I was talking about this before where it feels like It Gets Better has really just been expanding and like where its reach has been, and it's so
Mhm.
satisfying because I remember like I'll walk through Barnes and Noble and I'll see like last year they mailed us like a deck of Uno cards, and it was like with yeah,
Yeah.
and I've seen that deck of Uno cards in Barnes and Noble, and it's like the coolest thing to me that I can see these like little things that have It Gets Better branding on it, and I'm like, heck
It
yeah,
makes
I've
me
been a
so
part of
happy.
that.
I unfortunately have not found It Gets Better branding in the wild, but I want to, though I do have this just readily available.
I got the I can go reach over and grab the hockey tape.
Oh my god, the hockey tape was so funny. My stream and I were laughing about that together when I first got it last week. Because I was like, yeah, I play hockey. I don't play hockey. I just don't know what I'm going to use it for, with that said. But it makes me laugh that they gave it to us, and I love it and appreciate it so much. It's a great little something
To have to do like
to
a
make
little
to start a new hobby.
do a little like decoration on like a wall or like a closet somewhere and make like a
And
little design with it.
maybe when I get a bike one day, maybe that'll
Ooh.
look nice on like the handles of the bike. I do have gloves that I wear when I bike.
Okay, so I don't have a bike right
So maybe
now.
that, or um my dad and my brother just got new golf clubs. Maybe on those. I don't know if it has the same kind of grip. But
Yeah, I I'm gonna be honest, golf is not the one sport that I have much knowledge on.
I don't know anything about golf except for the Switch Sports and the Wii Sports versions. Switch Sports golf is very fun, by the way.
I don't think I played much. I don't have the Switch Sports. I have the Wii Sports. Like
Yeah,
everyone else did, and so I played that. But I think golf might have been the one I played the least actually.
yeah. Because golf came out in a later update.
Oh, okay.
Well, no, that was the Switch version. The Wii version, I probably did boxing the least.
Oh yeah, boxing was definitely it.
I did
Yeah.
baseball and bowling the most, I think, for the Wii.
Yeah, I like that. And then tennis was like a middle one where I would play
Yeah.
tennis, but tennis was also just waving back and forth constantly, not really like
Oh,
action. Yeah.
literally, there's this GIF that I always use, the Know You one.
Oh yes, yes, yes. I know
It's
exactly what.
saved to my favorites. It's one of my Discord GIFs that I use all of the time. I
Oh
sent it
yes,
to you.
I do know it. I know exactly what we're talking about. I let me see. Can I copy a link into the chat? Well, that I probably
Maybe.
yeah. Let's see here. If I do that, yeah, okay. I'll send it to chat so people know what we're talking about. There we go. So yeah,
It's so
for
funny.
yeah, I actually I didn't know I knew you were lesbian. I didn't know you were ace.
Yeah,
Yeah,
admittedly, I do definitely talk about that a lot
and
less.
that's fair.
And it's something that even though I've known that I'm ace longer than I've known that I'm gay, there it is. I was trying to find my no you emote to put in the chat. Um, I've known that for longer, but I didn't know. I still am like navigating it because was never something that I was like so proud of, but I think it's also because I've definitely experienced more ace phobia than I've experienced homophobia.
I
Um,
Yeah,
and I definitely also experienced more ace phobia when I was in the closet than
I
when I came out
I think
because
that
they
makes
wouldn't be
sense.
afraid to say things to my face, not knowing that that's how I identified,
Yeah.
if that makes sense.
No, it
So,
totally makes sense. So my ex was, I think, in that early part of trying to understand asexuality as well. And I remember it was this like really big like learning curve with me, even because it was my first time even like really like I had known what asexuality was, but it was my first time being around people or someone who was. And I remember like, yeah, I think it's really like easily forgotten just like how like quick things we can say. I was talking about this before where you don't realize just sometimes how like a word or something you could say to somebody, how much it's actually going to affect the person, because you don't know like what they're thinking or what they're going on. And like something like identity, like
mhm,
I was talking about how in my middle school they were selling like clothes for like the like the school branding and stuff like that. And there was like the women's shorts, they're like the shorter ones. They're like the gym ones that you would wear for like, and I remember really liking those, but people were like, those are for girls. And I was told like, oh, I shouldn't watch that or whatnot, or what I shouldn't wear like that kind of thing. And you didn't realize like that probably affected my confidence in expressing my identity in clothes and stuff like that. And
mhm.
so
I
you
had a
really,
friend like that when I was in middle school who I haven't spoken to them since like over a decade ago, but um so I don't know what pronouns to use for this person, but I'm going to use they them just in case.
that's
But
fair.
I just remember them they were a lot more interested in like girly considered um things, and like their school supplies were all like pink and had
Hmm.
like I remember they really liked the candy aesthetic. I feel like a lot of people in like my generation like grew up with like candy as like a theme for like their decorating and like their clothes and stuff like that. And I know this person really liked that, and everyone was so mean to them for that. And I was just kind of sitting there like, why don't you just like let this person like what they like?
Yeah, exactly.
And like
It's
no one else would be friends with them, so I did. But
it's
they had to
crazy
leave the
how
school because everybody was so
oh
mean.
I
And then I had to leave the school because everybody was so mean.
I don't think I
But
was
the
leaving the
bullying
school,
was
but I
actually
yeah.
insane. So I cannot imagine what um other people like that must have gone through. And I hope that today they are living their best lives, and um if they did end up identifying as queer or not cis in any way, that they're out and proud and feel like themselves and are doing so comfortably.
100%. Like I remember like even like me like there was a lot that was going on, and I almost left school as well. I think that so I will say I come from a family of teachers, so I have seen a lot, and I do think that things are a little bit better in schools. I think it's less so like the students as much as like the programs that are being put in place. Like you're, if you don't mind me asking, how old are you again?
I'm 25.
25. Okay, so I'm 27, turning 28 this year. So maybe you'll remember, like, think about, like, the school programs. Like, I remember when I was in school, it was not even, like, the LGBTQ center. It was like the Gay Straight Alliance, and then it
Yeah,
expanded.
that's what it was
Yeah,
called when I was in high school, but I think around my senior year they changed it to the Queer Straight Alliance, but I don't
yes,
know what it's called today.
I
And I
think.
remember performing at their like they did an award ceremony at my school every year, and I remember performing it, and like one of my favorite teachers got best dressed, another one of my favorite teachers got
Oh,
best ally, which was great.
I
And
love
then I
that.
think that same teacher actually came out to me as bi privately
Oh, yeah.
during the
So,
pandemic, way after graduating. So,
oh, I love that. Yeah, so I think like those school systems have like really changed, even just like with the wording and the terminology that they're using there. So because like my mom
mhm,
will tell me, so I think that we have seen growth from what we were experiencing at the time, and it's obviously for the better. And I think it is helping more people feel more like they can see themselves in things. Because like I think I was talking about how
mhm,
I a big thing that I feel like why it's so nice to have these conversations is we are able to have our stories be told, and maybe there's somebody here who hasn't felt like they can relate to something in media or something like that. We are like the media for them that they are finally able to relate to, and I feel like there's such an empowering feeling
mhm.
behind that that I look forward to having these
Yeah,
conversations for it.
yeah. The experience of not being straight, questioning your sexuality, coming out, is a lot more universal than a lot of people think it is. I remember I was also such a niche internet YouTube person growing up. I've always been consuming content online and looking up to influencers since I was a young, like, middle schooler, approximately, high school ish. And I remember feeling so like excited and not knowing why when the first beauty like YouTuber came out, and like they were like they had to make these whole elaborate videos of them talking about I'm gay for 30 minutes. And like we ate that up
Yeah,
when we were that age. And today it's just so much more normalized
even the
that
videos are
I
getting
feel like
shortened
coming
now.
out is a lot safer.
Yeah,
But I think we needed those people like Miss Glamorazzi. Her name was Ingrid, this YouTuber I'm talking about. She doesn't post on YouTube anymore, but she's great. She's wonderful, and she really like set the bar for women to be able to exist in a space and have this like platform, and then like also represent the queer community when we needed it
one
most.
hundred
And
percent. One of the
yeah, it was around. I don't remember when it was when this happened. I think 2015. I think it was around the same time when gay marriage was legalized actually.
would explain there probably was like a bunch of people who finally felt like they were comfortable to come out at that time, so I could see that being
Yeah.
like the right timetable. And even like in recent years when it comes to like YouTubers and like influencers, you're talking about being ace. Like I think of Jaden Animations. She came
Mhm.
out in the past couple years about like their sexuality and experiences, and I think like that is somebody who probably hits demographics that are
Mhm.
younger than us and are being able to teach people about asexuality, being ace. And I think that
Mhm.
it's a time is the circle. So like we had
Yeah.
our like gay influencers when we needed it, and now we're having like asexuality and the more like diverse part of being queer be starting to share that same time as it's becoming more readily seen in media. So I
Yeah.
really like that we can start to see more of these individuals be able to say and think about how they're feeling. And I think that it's nothing but good when somebody finally gets that time to share that, and the impact that
Mhm.
it makes is lasting beyond them just being honest to themselves.
Yeah.
I have recently decide like in the past year I started to figure this out where I had said that I was lesbian all through coming out, and being trans and everything like that was like I thought lesbian was maybe just like the safest word to use for me.
Mhm.
Because, like, I was like, I don't really think I'm interested in guys, but I think I also didn't let myself see that side of myself because I was just like, you know, so focused on one end of things. And now, as like time has gone on, I've started to explore that part of me. And today, this was the first year where I talked about that I consider myself pan now,
Mm.
and that like growth
Congratulations.
of thanks. Yeah, it's been this feeling of I I realized that I like almost like narrow mindedly put myself in a box when I was coming out.
Yeah.
And now that I think I've been going along furthermore with my self discovery and my gender identity, I have been able to start to come to the idea of, hey, maybe there's more to me than I let myself have. And
Mhm.
they're two different experiences, but I do like I was hearing you talk about your coming out as ace, and I felt like I related a little bit to that with the pansexuality part, where it was just, you know, we knew what
Yeah.
we were at one for like one part of ourselves, but the second part was kind of harder to either share or let ourselves be truer to ourselves.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
yeah, so I'm very happy that we have these experiences and we're able to, obviously it sucks
Absolutely.
that
And from
we,
them, share them with others.
yeah,
And I guess the whole point of what you just said and why we do what we do as it gets better ambassadors is it gets better ambassadors is to be the change that we want to see and create a world that we wish we could have grown up in as queer individuals who were kids at one point.
I yeah,
But I
I could not
didn't
have said that better
even
myself.
think of that until I was in high school. Yeah,
Yeah.
cause like my friend, I had like people who were mean to me and were like, I remember I was at summer camp. I was 14, and we were just like walking to lunch one day, and these two girls, these mean girls in my bunk, were like, if there was anybody like in our bunk who you think is a lesbian, I was like, they were like, who do you think it would be? And I just was sitting there like, I don't think any one of us are actually attracted to girls, but like this person likes wearing flannels a lot, and that's a stereotype. And then they started being like, I think it would be you, Allie, but started saying it like meanly.
It's
And
like
I was like,
how, yeah.
okay, I didn't even like think about that yet as a
Mhm.
possibility for myself. I had no idea. I was just kind of like, that's kind of rude that you're like using somebody else's identity as an insult.
Yeah.
But I was 14 and didn't know how to communicate that yet. But I didn't see it as an insult. But that's what they were aiming for.
Mhm.
And I was like, I mean, they
I
ended up being right, but like, they didn't have to be rude.
Yeah. No, 100%. I for me growing up, obviously I'm trans, so growing up around guys, it was this, they would throw around a gay as an insult. And if my personality wasn't matching the stereotypical male, that's what was being thrown around. And I'm sitting here
Mm,
like, well, I mean, again, like, yeah, I didn't match the stereotypical guy. I'm not one. So, it's like
yeah.
it's one of those things where it's really frustrating looking back at like the terminology that was used as like these insults, and how we, like you're saying, we were not great communicators because we were like 13, 14, 15, and it's not the easiest thing to want to talk about that. I remember one of the first times that I probably was thinking about maybe I was trans was in 8th grade. I had a dream that I was wearing all women's clothes. And I remember I woke up from that dream and I just sat there. I was like, why do I feel like so comfortable in that dream and feeling like this was something I wanted to wear more of? And I had talked about that with people. I was like, hey, have any of you ever also had dreams about being a girl? And I had people almost like laugh and scoff at that. And I quickly like shut that notion
That's
down. Yeah.
mean and stupid.
Mm-hmm. It
I
was
hate
yeah.
that they did that to you.
It was ridiculous. So I didn't come out until college, primarily because I repressed every other thought that I probably would have had for the longest time.
Yeah.
I
I also didn't come out till college, and I hate that I feel this way. But I'm so glad I didn't come out earlier. I was an easy target for bullying when I was in high school
Mhm.
because I can go on a whole emotional rant about this. But I liked what I liked. I enjoyed doing what I did, and I was loud about it, and I didn't care what other people thought about me. That mostly meant things like Dancing with the Stars and like drawing and whatever, and just being very open about my passions and my really just ADHD hyperfixations and my interest
For
in YouTube and
real.
stuff.
I had
And
ADHD too, so I get
I feel
that.
like if I came out as gay back then, I would have been the same like that with my queerness, but that it wouldn't have been as accepted as it is now.
Yeah,
But
100%.
also like I don't know.
I
I think I'm in a much safer position to be coming out as an adult in
yeah,
college than I was coming out that I would have been coming out earlier.
and I
But
think
I
that's
hate that I feel that way too.
it.
That
It
like the fact that
sucks.
I feel that way makes me sad and I don't want other kids to feel that way.
Yeah, it sucks that like that's the feeling, but also like I think that it is something to like it's still something worth noting that like hey, if you're not in a safe environment, it's okay to have to wait. It sucks that we have to put ourselves in those situations, but like you're saying, like you don't know what would have happened or how you would have been going through if you had come out earlier. You know, in my situation with high school, I don't think I knew anybody aside from like a handful of people who were like bi, but I didn't know even like there was no trans people, and I graduated with a class of over 400 people. So it was, you know, if
Yeah.
I were to have come out in high school, I would have been this like pariah, this focus point, and I was already like yourself dealing with a lot
Yeah.
of bullying, so it would have only really like pushed that.
There
I
was like yeah, no one like that in my high school that I remember at all, which
yeah.
is crazy.
As soon as you get to college and everyone's like, and I think that was like the big thing for me, like. I came out as trans within like a month after meeting somebody else who was trans because it opened my eyes to like this idea of something I had finally let myself think
Mhm.
about. I wasn't letting myself think about it until, you know, I really started to talk to somebody else who I saw how happy they were and how proud they were and how, you know, they he was really just feeling good about who he was, and I was very just like I was like maybe this is me because I would
Mhm.
hear what his experiences were, and I was feeling like I was relating to that in my own way.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it was one of those things where I felt safer in college, but I think it was also scary. You know, I don't know how easy it was for
Yeah.
you to come out.
My coming out story
This sounds
is
like a good
so
story.
unhinged. Not really. But I came out as asexual because there was this boy that I liked in high school. And it turned out he liked me back, and I was like, why do I hate this? But also it was because he was really weird about it, and he said some things to me that I just like didn't vibe with, and I just didn't know how to handle it, so I like ghosted him. But he was like one of my brother's like best friends, and he was so good to me, and like platonically he was so good to me. And like I would love to be friends with him now, but like back then I just didn't know what to do. So I was quietly ace from like my senior year of high school until the beginning of my junior year of college. So this is around 2019. I kissed a girl for the first time and was like, "Oh, that's what that's supposed to feel like." Oh, okay. Yeah, I don't like men really, but I came out as bi first. I came out as bi in 2019, bi and ace, and then around 2021, 2022. I don't even know the exact time
Honestly,
when
I've
this
kind of
happened.
lost when I
But
came out
I
as
came
trans
out
too.
as a lesbian eventually, but it was like a very slow process that I was
Yeah.
just like slowly starting to say gay more than bi. Took me longer to come to terms with the word lesbian than gay, but gay just like felt the best for me. And then also, even though I am cisgender and I do confidently feel like I am cisgender, um, I still have also like experimented with what gives me gender euphoria, because I know that like even though like I'm not transitioning, I'm not um and there's no other word for that. I just added on to my sentence
It's
when I
okay.
wasn't supposed to. And um it still feels important to me to see what makes me feel the most validated in my expression, in my queerness. And for me, at least in the last year, that's meant my front piece is here being dyed, and then I got my nose pierced. And
My
that has
25th
really
birthday, I got
definitely
the
brought
nose
out my
piercing.
gay euphoria a lot, and like wearing certain types of clothes,
Yeah.
and um, that, yeah, so gender euphoria is important, I think, for more people.
Yeah, no, I agree. And yeah, I also got the nose piercing. It was my 25th birthday. I was like, all right, I'm finally doing it.
Really?
Yeah, I did the ears and nose the same day because I had no piercings
Oh
at all.
my god.
Yeah,
I got my nose pierced literally last month. I got it
I was
pierced
there
the
for that.
Friday before Mother's Day, and I did it without telling anyone. And
You
then
told
my
your
mom was
chat.
like, "Girl, we're going to grandma's tomorrow for brunch. She's gonna flip. You have to call her and tell her." And so I did, and I was like, "It's a piercing. If I don't want it anymore, I just take it out and the hole closes. It's not like a tattoo that's
Yeah.
permanent." But now I've been making tattoo jokes at her to distract her from the piercing, and now she's worried that I'm actually gonna get a tattoo, and I've just been messing with her this whole time. I'm not getting a tattoo. She needs a break. I
My
would love
grand
to.
yeah.
I don't want to do that to her right now. She's 90.
Aw. My grandmother also was like very like hesitant for when I told her I was gonna get a nose piercing. I think she thought I was gonna get like the septum bigger ring, and I was like, no, it's just a nostril. It's gonna look fine. And now I think she's become numb to it in the sense of like, yeah, she's like, yeah, this is a part of you and everything like that. So it's nice. Like it took a bit, but I totally get that. Like my mom was like, is your grandmother gonna be okay with it?
Yeah. My I have okay, my grandma and I talk on the phone every single day. I'm the only person that talks to my grandma every single
Aw.
day. I'm the only person in my family that knows how to set boundaries with grandma and avoid fighting. And it's because I talk to her like she's 4, but it works. Like I'm able to
Yeah.
adequately set boundaries with grandma, and I haven't come out to grandma now that I think about it, actually. She's like the only important person in my life that I haven't said I'm gay to. But like I don't feel the need to do that unless I actually get
Bring
into a
somebody around.
relationship with
Yeah.
somebody, but I don't know. She's not
I
homophobic, for sure. But I feel like if I go to her and I'm like, Grandma, I'm gay, I have a girlfriend, she's gonna be like, okay, is she Jewish? And that'll be like what she cares about most.
I so I come from a large family. My grandmother was one of
Mm-hmm.
seven siblings. My mom is one of two and my dad was one of four. So like family gatherings are normally like 50 plus people. It got to a point where I remember I would go to like a family gathering and my grandmother would be like, "Oh, aunt so and so doesn't know you're trans yet." And I would just look at her and be like, "Grandma, you can say whatever you want. I'm tired. I've done this enough. I don't want to come out anymore." You can share whatever you want to share about it.
That's so funny.
I because it was true. Like I felt like the first like dozen or so people that I came out to in my family, I it was like an event in the sense that I'd be like, hey, can we go out for lunch or like dinner? And I would take them out and I'd be like, hey, I need to talk to you about this. And that's how I did like the first like four or five people in the family because I was like, this is alone, it's public, it's safer, and
Mm-hmm.
I it was still like hard for me to want to come out. And then I just it's so interesting looking back on, and like I understand I have the right to have been like scared, especially how society is, but I look at me now, I'm like I talk about myself so openly. I'm like, how was I so afraid back then? And it really just shows like the growth that I've had and the confidence I've been able to
Yeah.
develop with that. But
My aunt, I posted something on, I don't remember when I posted this, but it was, I think, Lesbian Visibility Week. And there were like a bunch of um, there's like Happy Lesbian Visibility Week too, and it was like trans lesbians, ace lesbians, aro lesbians, like a bunch of different identities that could be also like identified with being a lesbian. And so my aunt like swiped up on the story and was like, "Can you explain to me what all of these mean? I feel so bad, whatever. I don't know anything." And I'm like, you being in your 60s and like asking these questions and being open to knowing about this and having these conversations shows that you're doing a lot more than literally anybody else your age, even
yeah,
if you didn't know anything prior to now. So don't feel bad. And I'm happy to talk to you about literally anything. But like, I haven't really like talked so much about myself and my experience to my family. I've really just like explained like certain little aspects of queer theory to
hmm
them
I
and
feel
what I
like
do for It Gets Better.
I feel like it's the same way with like my family and our like family friends, where I've kind of just become the person that they go to have more of an understanding of the queer terminology, queer things. I remember my cousin was doing my hair a couple of years ago, and at the working at the salon at the time was a neighbor family friend, and we were talking about everything, and she was like, I still don't understand they them pronouns. And I sat there and
Mm-hmm.
I explained like in the best way possible. I always like to say, an example that I give is, you have a new neighbor that moved in. Their neighbors, they have a unisex name. Their name is Tony. How are you going to refer to them because you don't know what gender they identify as? Because Tony can be, you know, a masculine or a feminine directed name. So that's when I'd be like, yeah, you would probably have used at that time, like, yeah, they live over there.
Mm-hmm.
And as soon as I said that to her, it felt like the wheels like turned in her head, and she was like, oh, yeah, that makes sense. So I kind
Yeah.
of just felt like I was like, yay, look at me go. I feel like I've become this educator, and I think part of it comes
Mm-hmm.
with being at It Gets Better for as long as I have, where I feel like I've gotten more resources and I've gotten more knowledge to be able to eloquently
Yeah.
explain in a way. And like, I think the big thing is too, you don't ever want to make the person feel like inadequate or dumb for not knowing it, because then that just makes it
Yeah.
harder for them to want to learn. When you make them be like, no, it's totally fine, you don't get it,
Mm-hmm.
it makes it feel like it's more receptive and they're more willing to take on this new understanding of vocabulary that is, I think, like a really underrated thing when it comes to being this queer educator.
Yeah. I think sometimes, well, like certain parts of the human identity are definitely less spoken about, kept to yourself a little bit more. And I think that non queer people are used to that. And so I was talking to my brother and his girlfriend recently, and I was like, you guys know you can like literally ask someone what their pronouns are, right? Like, you don't have to like assume. They were like, I don't know what their pronouns are. What do I do? And I was like, ask. It's so easy to find this information out so you don't misgender them. Just literally ask. They will not be insulted.
Yeah, it's like I feel like we're almost afraid to ask these like questions that maybe they didn't grow up asking in school, but it's a totally like normal question to ask. But
Mm-hmm.
because it's this idea of change, and change is scary, and so people are reserved toward it. But this change is a good change. It's a change that just normalizes things that, for me or even you, like we want to see normalized, because it would have made our coming outs and our stories just all the more easier at times.
Yeah.
I I remember even I'm still the kind of person where I'll walk through. I remember I was in the Lego store last month in New York City, and everyone in the Lego store has pronouns on their tags. And I
Yeah, I
still
had a conversation with them about that when I bought my Animal Crossing Legos. I said the same thing.
I feel
That's
like
so funny.
yeah, I saw that and I was like, I want to support you now more because like it's something that seems like so little, but for myself and many other people, it's one of those things where like you observe that and you see that and it like sticks to you a lot more because you're like, okay, this is a company that is having everyone else do that. Everyone's going along with it. There doesn't seem to be any like, you know, meme pronouns or anything like that people are doing. It's just like supported and accepted thing, and that's how it should be. So you hold that to like a higher standard in like our hearts. Yeah. Sorry, there was somebody who was talking about all the plushies in the chat there. Yes.
Yeah, I love how both of us like have that going on.
Yeah, it's our aesthetic. Somebody was just like,
My
you never had to
aesthetic
come out with
is
anybody who sees all the plushies on my bed.
comfort. That's
Look,
so, yeah.
yeah, we have our aesthetics. We match each other, I think, pretty well.
Yeah. Oh, I don't have a pride flag hung up though.
To be fair, this was one because I was raising money with for June, so I was like, hey, I'll have this flag. I'll have people like I was writing people's name down on the flag.
Yeah. Are you doing Pokemon Pride this month?
Yeah.
Yay.
So I have been like raising money for prize. So, normally that's not there, but this little trans flag, this has been there for like 3 years.
Yeah. I love your setup. I've always really
Aw.
liked all the little plushies
Thank
you
you.
have.
I feel like the way that I describe like setups and stuff like that is, it's a conversation starter. You have all that there,
Mhm.
and like we see it in chat with like somebody coming in, like it makes somebody want to interact with it and just even if it's just like a comment on it.
Yeah.
It's like that. It also like welcoming thing. Whereas if you just have like a zoomed in thing of your camera, nothing against having that aesthetic, but I feel like you get so much more personality and understanding of like who I am just from this like
Yeah.
wide angle view of everything that I have here.
Yeah. For me, it's literally just my childhood bedroom. But sometimes people will come in and be like, "Oh my God, is that a Midnight's vinyl up there?" Because I like Taylor Swift. And then they'll see like Melba here and be like, "Oh my God, Melba's my favorite villager too." It's a very, very good conversation starter, especially with
Yeah.
this guy here.
I
He's
was about to,
tie.
he's so tired.
From all the nothing he's done all day.
Occasionally behind you, I've been able to you'll like see their tail just like wag around like or like their foot right now like how they are.
This is Cooper.
Hi,
My
Cooper.
dog uses he funny pronouns.
Did you
Do you use?
you should do like the TikTok trend where they have like the little flashcards and like they'll be like you'd be like, all right, Cooper, what's your
Yeah!
pronouns? And
They pick out their pronouns.
Exactly.
They pick out their sexuality, their political affiliation.
Yeah, you should do that with Cooper and then let us know.
Based on knowing him, he probably just follows whatever I do and is just happy to be here.
You could tell he's happy to be here. He's just sitting there relaxed.
He's just a little guy hanging
He's
out
just a
with
little
his
guy.
sister.
My
He was the first dog I came out to.
Oh, I love
I
that for you.
literally came home because I came out right before Thanksgiving break when I first came out. And so I literally, when we were at home one day, I literally whispered, like, "I'm buying Ace" into his ear. And then I was like, "You still love me."
That's adorable.
He's such a good boy.
I can't get pets until I move out, just because like my father and my sister are allergic. But as soon as I move, my goal is to have 2 cats. That is like the big thing for me. I need cats in my life.
Cats are so cute. My brother's also really severely allergic to pets, but we made him take allergy shots our sophomore year of high school, so that junior year we could get Cooper.
I don't think I could convince my family to do that.
Yeah. The reason why we were able to convince Ethan that way is because we all knew we wanted a dog, but Ethan was like, if I take the time to get these allergy shots, like these injections, like my part of the deal is that I don't have any responsibility.
Fair enough.
taking care of the dog, and we were all like, fair, valid, I'll do
Yeah.
most of the work.
No, I think that's
And
a pretty fair
he's
compromise.
the best thing that's ever happened to us. He's the
Aw.
best dog. He's
I,
so good.
I lived with my grandparents my first year in college, and they had two cats. One of them, my grandmother had warned me the day that I had moved in, and she was like, "Look, Paige is not the kind of cat that likes to be around people. She only really hangs out with me." And, just like, not in like the mean way. She's just like, but just keep that in mind. Like, she might not want attention when you're living here. And I was like, yeah, that's totally fine. I
Mm-hmm.
get that. Then, like a couple of months go by of me living there. I remember I was having like one, like, part like a homesick, part of like this, like, really like just depressed vibe my first year in college because it was rough for me. And I remember while I was like doing an essay and I was just like sitting there alone, Paige had come downstairs where I was living and just like walked around, sat next to me, let me pat her, and
No.
I was like, it was at that moment where I knew that I was gonna be a cat person because I felt like that was the cat sensing that I was just really feeling lonely and really needed somebody. And it wasn't the only time that cat had ever a Paige had ever done that. She would probably like two or three more times where, and it got to a point where, yeah, she just pretty regularly would start to come downstairs and spend time with me. But it started off with that moment of, I think she could sense that I wasn't doing that great, and I hold that moment to such like a high standard that I'm like, I want a cat now, mainly because of my experiences with Paige.
Mm-hmm. I
um
would love to have my own dog one day, but I also have to realize that like Cooper is a once in a lifetime kind of dog, and that like not every dog is going to be him.
yeah, that makes sense. I think
I'm just like scared about opening my heart enough for another dog. Like I can't imagine loving anything in this world more than Cooper. So I'm just like, what do I do? But I
here,
do want another puppy. Most people my age get baby fever. I get puppy fever.
I think that's
I
more
want my
common these days with
little
like our
four-legged
generation.
baby running around,
Yeah.
yapping around my apartment, just being stupid and silly and tiny.
I feel like that's like a really common thing though with like people like our generation right now, especially like I
Yeah.
think I also think it's like even more toward like the queer individuals that are our age. Like we're just like, babies are a lot. We can't make money. Pets are good. Pets are easier. We want pets instead. And I think that that's like a big like feeling for us. Yeah.
Mhm.
Welcome on in, everybody. I hope you're all doing well. If you don't mind, I need to use the bathroom real quick. I'm gonna.
Yeah, I was gonna say
Yeah.
I would love to take a break so I
Okay.
can fill my water
Yeah.
bottle.
All right. So everyone who's watching, we're gonna do a little BRB. Your mic's not gonna be on the BRB screen, so you're good.
I'm gonna mute anyway,
Yeah.
just in
Okay.
case.
I'm gonna put up the BRB screen. We're gonna be back in like a couple minutes, and we will see you all in just a moment. So thank you everybody who's hanging out. All right. BRB is up. I will see you all shortly. Okay, everybody, I am at least back. So I'll go onto the one camera setup here, and I'll talk with you all until Allie gets back. So, how are we all doing? I hope you all have been enjoying the conversation. I know it's like a real big like focus on us here, but I'm very thankful for everybody who has been sitting through this. I have a hard time bouncing between like the chats that we're having here and obviously the conversations I'm trying to have with Allie. So I hope it's been good conversations with you all. Abby, welcome in. Armed Armadillo, welcome in. Hope you all are doing well. Bruce, hello. If you're still here, hope everyone is having a good day. I think if I were to do a plushie battle royale and have a poll for who's my favorite, that would take a while because at this point there's like over 80 plushes back there. It's a lot. Fostering animals is great, but you don't want another personal pet. I think I wouldn't mind having multiple pets, but I understand like that feeling. So yeah. I think Allie is back, so I will swap ourselves over back to the second tab here. Hello, hello. You're muted still?
I'm muted still. Oopsie daisy.
It's okay. Hi.
How was your break?
Fabulous. I saw you, so I have you, how I have this set up is, I have it Discord pop-out chat, and so I have you on my middle monitor. So while I was reading chat, I just saw you go, like, in the background. I'm like, I can see it. Chat can't see what you're doing. And I'm like, I love
That's
this.
That's why I did it, because I was like, Chloe's gonna see me, like, serving.
Our little secret that I then proceeded to share with everybody, but you know, I appreciate it.
It didn't have to be a secret. Everybody knows I slay.
True. I mean, just look at the outfit, like the pride shirt. I'm sorry, I didn't match you today. I got up real early to get ready.
I needed to save my It Gets Better shirt for Thursday, otherwise I would have worn that.
Are you streaming with them on Thursday?
The laundry, so.
Are you doing your It Gets Better stream on Thursday?
I already finished all my streams for this cohort. Okay. It's for my work event on Thursday.
Oh, yes, I remember
I plan to wear an It Gets Better shirt to work.
I love that. Yeah, I gotta do some laundry as well, so I think that's another reason why I was, like, lacking in things. Tomorrow's my day off, so I'm like, alright, that'll be my chores day.
That's nice, yeah.
So, I wanted to touch on our like time on like Twitch being out, because obviously being not only streaming but like the tech industry in general is this very cis hetero male dominant field, and I wanted to just like touch on like how's your experiences been, because I feel like you have a really like supportive community, and I think that for me, streaming has been a like almost like a video documentary, a video vlog of like my entire coming out, where I started to stream right as I had come out, and it's been, you know, through the name change, the first surgery, the second surgery, and people have been able to really see like that. But how has it been for you?
On Twitch, I feel like I don't really feel like I came out on the internet, honestly.
Yeah, but even if it wasn't coming out, like, how is like being open about yourself, like, has it been like obviously we deal with a lot of, you know, like negativity at times with it, so I assume your community is this very like welcoming space, and you've been able to breed something like that.
I think that my experiences on Twitch have definitely shaped me into a better ally. Not ally, I'm gay. A better advocate. A better advocate for the queer community.
I think that's a good way of putting it too, where it's like, I feel like I might have been like out already but when I had come out, but I think that over time I've learned how to be this like better advocate through streaming and know the kind of person that I want to be for other people.
Yeah. I experienced a lot of negative things, not necessarily like towards me, but just like general negativity in the streaming community that I'm in 2022 in that summer. And some people might be familiar with the discourse that was going on around online around that time, but for those who were not around, that was like approximately around when conversations surrounding Hogwarts Legacies were starting, and J.K. Rowling's
Yeah.
negative influence on the trans community, and how in these Twitch spaces, in our streams, stream teams especially, um, how we need to put a much stronger emphasis um, on advocating for those marginalized voices. And so I think I wasn't like not prioritizing those things before, but I feel like I still had my eyes opened to prioritizing those things more.
Yeah.
And so it's taught me a lot about what it means to be there for not just the queer community, but people of color as well, and other marginalized voices within our online spaces. Because gaming and streaming content creation, it's for everyone. It's a very accessible form of media consumption and creation, and there's no reason why people can't enjoy it. And I think also, um, with the conversation of safe spaces, um, I knew what I was going to say, and then it immediately left my brain.
That is okay. I so I feel like, it is one of those things where like I remember that time very vividly, especially like as a trans person myself, and I started to become that point of people would ask like, hey, how do you feel if I were to play this game or like do those kinds of things, and I feel like I I almost became that like person that people were looking to talk about these kinds of things because might have had like another like trans friend, or then maybe like there wasn't one that was as outspoken as me. And I think like one of the common things that I would see people say is like, oh, everything's bad, boycotting doesn't work, and it was like such, and I'm like, but you don't understand just how
But it
powerful.
does
Yeah,
work.
yeah, exactly, it did work. And I think that the more that we start to realize that, and the more that we start to accept that like we are a society that has our voices, we our demographic and our generation has so much power behind our voice and what we've been able to do so far, that I think it's important that for things like pride and being able to like take out the negativity amongst society, we have to continue to like be that advocate. I remember around like the same time people were talking about elections, and they would be like,
Yeah.
uh, there were some people who would be like, I didn't vote in the last election, and blah blah blah, and I would say like, okay, while I respect your choice not to, how about instead of not voting because it didn't matter to you, you start to think about the people that are in your life that are impacted by these decisions. And
Mm-hmm.
I think that's like a thing. We live in this timeline where a lot of people often don't think about everything happening in the world, especially like where we live. I think a lot of a lot of people don't think about everything going on. They're very like, for lack of a better word, selfish. And
Yeah.
I feel like it is something that we are starting to have more people learn about and try to be more of an advocate for, because it we have to show people that we don't have to like live in our little bubble, and there's a lot of us out there that have the power to talk about these things. And again, I think that's part of what It Gets Better does, is it helps us, you know
Absolutely.
have that empowerment and have that ability to share with everyone and feel like your voice matters. Because I think oftentimes, especially on the internet, we deal with these feelings of our voice not mattering, and that can't be further from the truth. We just have to make it loud enough for people to recognize that.
Yeah, absolutely.
And like you know, the whole stuff about, like, you were talking about, like, games, like, yeah, like, 48% of people who identify as women play games. Like, it's not, like,
Mhm.
a male-dominated thing by, like, who buys games. It's just, like, you know, our industry is possibly a little bit more, like, male-dominated, but it's true. You know, I
Yeah.
I don't know about you. I sometimes I like to like think about the people's pronouns in my chat, and I'm like, what percentage of people use like she, her in my chat and stuff like that? And I think I actually have like a majority of people who like are femme or like femme adjacent in my
Mm.
community, and I love that because I feel like it's not like that common to see in Twitch
Yeah.
streams.
I'm very spoiled, and in a lot, by that I mean in a lot of what I've done in this world in terms of work is being in female dominated environments, and so I'm
I love that.
honestly a little bit nervous to enter the corporate world and have to work closely with men because I don't know how to do that.
Okay, but like in a similar vein, I always
Yeah,
found it easier to come out to like girls instead of guys. I had such a hard
yeah.
time trying to like, cause like I'm not good at like emotionally reading a guy. A lot of like male presenting people, like, you know, talk about that like toxic masculinity, and they put on like that barrier of like emotion. So it's like really hard to get like a body language read on so many masculine
Hmm.
presenting people that I have that same feeling of like, oh, I'm having a hard time understanding like how this person is perceiving me, or how do I work with you? Oh, I think we lost Allie there real quick. So, oh, okay.
Oops.
Oops.
Had to go open something in my mod chat and then I accidentally joined the voice channel.
It's okay. We're allowed our technical difficulties. We're allowed to have our little silly moments.
At least I didn't join the guild stage by accident. I haven't done that in a long time for those who are not in the Twitch Women's Guild, and I'm assuming the other two guilds might have the same thing. There's one of our voice channels, or like it's like the one that's like you join in like the audience and then you like watch whatever is happening in there.
Mhm.
The amount of times people have joined that voice channel by accident is so funny. And
It's
so
really
whenever I
bad for
do it,
me.
I go into general chat and I'm like, 0 days since I last joined the guild stage by accident.
Yeah, especially because like it's one of those things where for those that want context too, like it's right above like the big wins text channel. So I
Yeah!
always want to see everybody's like exciting things, and instead I'll like slightly misclick and I'm like, "Oh, I just joined the guild hall."
It's
The
hidden in
yeah,
very well with text channels.
I spent like I think the first month that that Discord was there, I think I accidentally joined it like every other day. It was bad how often I was in there. So I get that. I've also definitely done that where like I'll want to see what somebody is watching on like a like they're streaming in Discord, and I'll like try to like click to see, and it'll automatically put you in the server, and I'm like, oh, I didn't mean to join. My bad, y'all.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So have you? Did I forget? Did New York already have their Pride parade or?
No, I'm not going
Oh.
this year. I'm very sad about that. Um, but I have to work that day, and I have no one to go with anyway, and I went last year, so it's like I can skip
Yeah.
this year. I'm EP. I've been doing so much for Pride Month this year,
No,
which
I
has
feel
been
that.
fantastic, though I did have to end my stream an hour early today because my spoons were low.
I appreciate you still
So,
making time though, because like again, I was ready to, you know, be like I can change my plans, but I'm thankful that you still had time. And if you feel like you need to go at some point, I can like don't feel like you have to force yourself anymore. I'm
oh no,
thinking
I'm
okay,
here till 7.
okay. I just
I have dinner plans at 7:30.
yeah.
So
Uh,
I just plan to be here till then and then leave.
all right. Yeah, I just I didn't want I was worried that, you know, you again you were talking about your spoons, and like the last thing I want you to do is feel like you're forcing
Yeah.
yourself. So
It
I
wasn't like I was not in the right headspace for this today. It was just that I was really sleepy. I did not sleep well last night, and I felt myself getting unnecessarily frustrated at Animal Crossing. And I was like, you know what? I think I'm just gonna not stream for my last hour today. And
That's
everyone
fair.
was like, yeah, girl, go get some sleep. And I was like, thank you. So I raided in early and then slept for an hour. And here I am.
Honestly,
Well,
hey, it
here
worked
I
out for
sit,
you.
I should say.
I, I purposely made myself sleep in a little bit more today because
Yeah.
or not sleep in, but I slept early because I was like,
Yeah.
I wanted to wake up for the Nintendo Direct. And so
Yeah.
I was like, I have to be good. I remember I messaged my best friend good night, and she was like, "Wow, you're going to sleep early, huh?" And I was like an hour before I normally do, and I'm just like, "Look, I just wanted to actually be like a productive woman today."
Yeah. I also woke myself up at 9:55 a.m. for the Nintendo Direct today. But this one woke me up at 4:45 for water. He only
Oh.
whines at me for water and wakes me or interrupts when I'm streaming or I'm sleeping. Not much of an in between. So I get very tired very quickly.
No, I get. I had my ADHD is the kind of like ADHD where like my brain is rapidly going, so it's really hard for
Mhm.
me to relax myself when I'm trying to sleep, and
Yeah.
I take like medication for it. I think it's the only reason I'm able to actually like let myself sleep a little bit more is because of that. But otherwise,
That's
yeah,
so
I would say
interesting because my ADHD medicine gave me insomnia.
I it's not ADHD medication that I take.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but
I
my
was gonna say, how do
yeah.
you have that effect from that?
I actually
I'm
like
jealous.
on the topic of like the stigmas and stuff like that in a similar vein. I actually like was on ADHD medication when I was like 5 years old, and I stopped taking it when I was
Yeah.
13 because I was like, I want to feel normal. It was how I described it because I was like, people were like judging me for having to take like meds and stuff like that, and so
People were
I
judging you? That's so
yeah.
stupid.
Mm-hmm. Every yeah, and that's the like it really just shows like how much we had people be so judgy growing up and how it all like it really impacted how hard it is to like want to be yourself. Like now I'm like thinking about, oh, maybe I should go back on some like ADHD medication because I do have issues with like being productive and like staying focused, and
Yeah. It
it's
just
what
made me feel so bad. Like, I've been unmedicated since I graduated college, and it's just so nice to feel more like myself. That medicine just made me feel god awful all the time.
yeah. No, that makes sense. I feel like obviously everybody's experience is different, but it was like one of those things where I was like, damn, I remember I took myself off of it the summer going into 8th grade, and my mom was like,
Hmm.
"You're gonna use these 2 months," and I'm gonna be like, "I'm gonna check. I'm gonna be watching you." I'm like, "If you are having a hard time focusing, you're going back on these." Is like her words to me.
Yeah. I needed them to do well in school, but I also just wanted to experience my work ethic without it.
Yeah, I think I was in a
Not
similar vein
very
with that.
existent, but still, I when I'm passionate about something, I really go for it.
Hyperfixation. Woo!
Yeah.
No, I'm the same way. Especially like, I dove like headfirst into like K-pop, which is like, I'm gonna be honest, that's a part of why I've realized I'm pan was because I watch a lot of K-pop videos and I watch a lot of K-pop choreography, and I'm like, everybody is hot, and like, but like that's been like my hyperfixation for the past year is
Yeah.
just like diving into that, and I'm like, yeah, I have a lot of focus on that. I've learned a lot from that,
Mhm.
but in like the general sense, it's become like this harder thing for me.
Yeah, I'm not a K-pop person, but I love K-pop choreography. There's just something about it that's so innovative and
Hmm.
different and exciting.
That's the big
I the
reason.
only thing I can like specifically remember off the top of my head is the Super Shy
Yes,
choreography, but that yeah, I just love watching K-pop stars dance.
I'm getting that sense because like I think you also mentioned how you like had like hyperfixations with Dancing with the Stars. So
Yeah, I was a
yeah.
dancer for a
Oh,
few years.
okay, that makes sense then. I have a lot of family members who were like dancers growing up and stuff like that. So
Really, I
yeah,
was the only one.
yeah. My sister did it. Both of my cousins that live in the same town did it. My aunt worked for the dance studio. It was like this.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
I was so tokenized.
Oh.
Well, I really just I refer to myself as the token for a lot of things in my family, like with the token gay, the token artist,
I feel that.
whatever.
I was the first
The
person to come out in my
token
family too.
anti-Zionist, also, which is hard to
Yeah.
deal with.
Oh, I can imagine. Yeah, I was the first person to come out in my family as well. And since then, I feel like I've had more family members who have like come out through, you know, however they identify as. But I think I was for a while. I was like, yeah, I feel like I'm the token gay, the token queer person in the family.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think there's any, like, for me, I didn't think there was anything wrong with it, especially like as like more family members have come out. I'm like, yay, look at me. I feel like I'm like, I don't know if I had an impact on them, but I'm like, maybe they saw me and everyone being accepting toward them, so then they finally felt comfortable to be themselves. And it's always like that exciting thing for me whenever other like family members I find out have like, you know, come out and stuff like that. I remember one of my cousins moved like Colorado and is now like lives with her girlfriend, and I'm like, hell yeah.
Aww.
I love this for you.
I love that so much. It's so fun for me when a friend who I wasn't expecting to come out comes out, and I'm like, oh my god, you're queer. I love this for you.
I don't.
So, and when people also
Yeah.
come to me before most other people to come out as well, that really makes me feel like I'm doing something right as
Yeah.
not just a content creator, but an individual. Because I've had this happen before I started streaming. And
No,
I didn't come out on YouTube because I was a YouTuber for many years.
Oh, really?
before
I didn't know
started
that.
doing Twitch. Yeah. I need to show you the one viral video that I have.
Oh, we could save that for an after stream conversation because I am very curious.
Yeah, it's a meme video. It's not even like, no, not my face, not my voice.
Gotcha.
But I'll send you the link.
Yeah. I feel like, yeah, it's like that same thing where like I've had people come out since or like, you know, be like, hey, I'm trying to figure out like pronouns and stuff like that, and they'll talk to me about that, and like it's really been this like really like sense of pride, the sense of feeling good. Like I've had people who are just I don't know, you feel like you have, when somebody comes out to you, it's a very like, this just goes for anybody here beyond us. Like when I came out to somebody, it was because I had immense trust in that person and immense comfort with that person. Like I think that's something for other people to like keep in mind, that you can, like, if somebody comes out to you, I don't want to say like wear that with like a badge of honor, but in the sense like trust yourself that you're a good person to that person, because it probably took them a lot to be able to actually like talk about this to you. And it's something to, for me, like I take that as a sense of pride in how I am as a person. That
Absolutely.
also, I see what you I see you linked me, and I'm like, all right, I'm saving that until later. This is a for later thing, and we will talk after your dinner.
We will talk about this later.
No, that makes it sound like this is bad. I'm excited for this.
No, it's funny. It's dumb. It's stupid. All of that is a good thing.
Sometimes we just gotta do the silly things, you know? I think a lot of people
Absolutely.
are like almost like afraid to like, yeah, you know, we're talking about like pride and everything, but I feel like a lot of us are also like just afraid to like express like the silliness in ourselves because we're afraid of like that fear of judgment.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Who's still in the closet?
Absolutely.
Jewish families are more accepting.
Fear of judgment
Yeah.
is something that I would love to erase from society, and the actual reality of judgment is another thing that I'd love to erase from society.
That's a big reason why I want to move to Seattle, is because I feel like they're like significantly less judgy out there. Everyone just kind of, you know, hey, you're doing you, we're doing me. It's all good, and I think that's like, yeah. There's actually a message in the chat here that I want to talk about real quick, where when Skittle in the chat was talking about when they were 19, they dated somebody who was still in the closet, and they wish that the families were more accepting, and it adds on to like the additional stress. Yeah, I feel like 100%, like it does feel like there is a lot of like additional stress that comes from that feeling. I know that my ex, when we were together, their family was not really that accepting towards trans people. It was a really like
Mhm.
awkward thing, and I never visited their we were the true like at the time like lesbian relationship where she was from Italy and I was from America. So like I never went to Italy to stay with her. She only ever came here. But it was one of those things where yeah, like it was so weird for her and when she would show pictures of like me and be like, yeah, this is who I'm dating, and the family would just have like these really like weird relationships. It almost made it hard for my ex to want to share those moments and that those experiences with their family. And now they're in a more
Yeah.
like they're dating somebody who's mask presenting, and I'm happy for them. And but like I
Yeah.
imagine it's probably like a lot easier for them now, and that stress probably made it hard for them to want to like, I don't want to say like that's a reason why we broke up, but I imagine that's probably not any like, it's not helping the situation. So I do get that, like it really
Mhm.
does add to like the stress of it all. And you shouldn't feel like you have to hide your partner because they might not be out or they're not able
Yeah.
to feel like they have that. Like it sucks because you love them for who they are, and
Mhm.
it sucks that other people weren't able to have that feeling. I don't know if you had anything else you wanted to
Yeah.
like.
And I definitely feel that in terms of like not just queer identity, but any part of someone's identity, and like feeling scared that me bringing somebody who I guess my family wouldn't expect me to date into the home, and like I would just be afraid that like I don't think that my family is like oppressive in most ways,
Yeah,
but
but you
like I
also
would also be like a little bit scared to like bring somebody in that like I know that my family or certain members of my family would be judgmental or discriminatory towards,
yeah, and I think that that is something
and
that
I
like
shouldn't have to myself that way. Sorry.
exactly. No, no, no. You're all good. I want you to be able to talk. Like, if you have something to say, I want you to be able to chime in. I'm sorry if I'm
Yeah, but
interrupting
I
you at
don't want to
times.
interrupt you either.
No, we can. You know what we'll do? We'll just blame the Discord delay from when we hear something to when we're trying to speak, and therefore it's not
Yeah.
either of us' fault. It's just Discord.
I realized how small and short I look in the webcam over
I mean,
there
I
because
think
I
it's
think it like
you go.
it's like just showing like you can't even see it like when I sit normally that I'm wearing a pride shirt today, but I
Yeah,
think it's just because of the way the webcam is situated
yeah, it
on
is. I can hear.
your scene.
Yeah, it is a little bit. Like, let me see if I can probably like extend. Yeah, I can crop you a little
Oh,
bit more.
nice.
There you go. There. Now you got a little bit more of yourself here.
Yeah, I also stood up more and sat on a blanket and a pillow to make myself appear taller.
I I have so I don't know what kind of camera you use, but I have my camera like specifically angled down a little bit just so that I can like
Oh.
yeah, because I have this the mic like I have like the camera arm, and
Mhm.
I actually did this so poorly because I have the
Oh.
arm at the front in front of my thing, in front of my computer monitors. So it actually like obstructs like 10% of like one of my monitor's vision. And I've had it there for like 2 years and I've just never bothered to correct it. I've gotten used to just not being able to use like, if I sit like this normally, I have like this much space that's just like blocked off on my one monitor because it's
Yeah.
just sitting in front of the two.
Uh-huh. I have a new desk chair too that is shorter than my other desk chair, so I definitely need to sit on things to make myself feel taller. But it's like such a nice chair. It's the one that like the bottom part is wider so that when you can like sit on it crisscross applesauce adequately. Like that's what the chair is meant for.
Oh, I need one of
But it's
those.
also nice for the fact that I have tiny baby dog, and we can both adequately fit on my chair when I
Oh.
sit normally.
I I think I also like the angle for me because it makes me perceive myself as shorter. I have
Yeah.
gender dysphoria over my height. And I'm not like exuberantly tall. I'm 5'11". I you know
Okay.
yeah, but it's still tall enough and big enough that it's hard to find like clothes in a lot of like stores that I walk in. I have
Mhm.
to do a lot of online shopping because it's not like stores aren't regularly carrying around what I'm looking for. And so, like, I think part of why I have it angled down is I want that perception of me to be different. I've had people constantly, when they see me, they'll be like, wow, I thought you were shorter than you were going to be.
Yeah.
So I think, like, and I don't think it's the case for you, but it is. I look at you and I'm like, wow, your room is really big. You must just be tall. Like, like, because, like, half of you is only in, like, the frame here. And it.
I'm 5'3". I'm Kathy sized.
You're Kathy sized.
For your personal reference, because I know you've played
Yes.
NAIC with Kathy.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I'll have to. I'll hang on. After this, I'll have to send you the picture that I took of Kathy and I.
Oh my god. I have a really funny. Do you know Ava the Femboy?
Yes.
Ava is a lovely member of one of my stream teams that I'm on, Flo Roma Town. She's 6'10".
Oh.
And so we took a picture together when I met them back in April. Of basically just us. Let me pull it up for everybody because it's so funny. But it was basically just us standing next to each other, looking at each other, and she's just like absolutely towering over me.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Which is so funny. And then there's a picture somewhere. This is one of the pictures. This is like Ava looking down at me.
I love that.
It's so funny. I love Ava so much. She's such an icon.
I haven't interacted with them too much. I actually knew them through like other communities, but I had seen them.
Yeah.
I've noticed that a lot where I feel like I've met a lot of like other people through like various communities, but then I'll like see them like in your community or I'll see them in like Kathy's community. Like Kathy and I did not meet in Pokemon. We met through another like
Yeah.
streamer, and
We met through mutuals too.
Yeah. So it's like really funny because like I circled back to like the content here and I started to meet people, and I think like I don't know, I think that also made me feel like welcome more in a spot because I've talked about how in the past I felt very isolated, especially like being a content creator, not having a lot of like friends to do content with. I started to feel really lonely. And I remember even I would talk to my mom occasionally. This was like a couple years ago where I'd be like, yeah, I want to go up to see this guy in New York, this person here. And she'd be like, all you really do is talk about guy friends. Do you have like any girlfriends and stuff like that? And it was one of those things where I hit that realization. I was like, yeah, I feel like I didn't have a lot of like girlfriends that I like did stuff with. And I feel like in a similar vein where I feel like I don't have as many queer people that I interact with as much. Like, I interact with them in, like, a Twitch chat and stuff like that, but to do something like this and have this sit-down conversation is so nice because I feel like I haven't done this in a while, and it makes, again, for me, it's that sense of just, I'm just having a nice time having this conversation, listening to your stories, and being able to feel like we are, like, celebrating each other. And I feel like I miss being able to do that. And so today has just been like this really nice time of being able to celebrate each other and celebrate Pride. And yeah.
What's so special about these internet spaces as compared to the other people that we meet throughout our lives is how we become friends, not because we're necessarily in the same place at the same time, but because we see each other for our common interests, our common identities, our common experiences, and we bond over those. And I think that it's so much more special than most other friendships that I've made in my life in places like school and my sorority. I mean, I love my sorority, but that's why I run a stream team now. But I feel like all the friends that I made there is again because we were in the same place at the same time, and while the people that I met there like are fantastic, not all of them like the same things as me. We just ended up in the same place.
I think that's such like a important thing to talk about because like yeah, it's true. Like I don't talk to really anybody from my schooling anymore. In college, I had one friend who I wish I had stayed in touch with, but she was the first person I ever came out to in general, and it was actually interesting. It was actually sweet. So I haven't reached out to her in a while, but I posted like a picture on my Instagram like a few months ago, and I saw her like it, and I was like, oh, this is probably the first time she's seen like a picture of what I look like in like 2 years or something like that because I just hadn't been like posting as frequently on there. But
Yeah.
yeah, like I feel like I have had so many more genuine friendships because we see each other, like you're saying, for our likes, our interests, the personalities that we have, and it's very just overall this feeling of I am just feeling good that I've had these interactions and these people to talk with that really just like understand me or like me for me, and
Yeah,
I
exactly.
it makes you want to like seek out more of that, not in this like not in like the social climbing kind of way, but just this
Yeah.
you feel so validated in who you are and how
Mhm.
people see you.
Yeah, because it's like, oh, I have these friends who like Animal Crossing. I have my Pokemon friends who basically just kind of adopted me into their community, which is a kind of adorable. Like getting to participate in Austin's Fortnite tournament this weekend, which you were so good in, by the way.
Thank you.
Like, there's like hee Pokemon creators and me, and I plan to wear Animal Crossing merch to Go Fest
No,
next
I mean that's
month,
cute.
and
Hang on, let me see if I
just
can find
like
something here real
feeling
quick.
like great in my token Animal Crossingness amongst the Pokemon community has been wonderful.
I
And
found it.
you found what?
I wanted to show you. This was from the PAX East panel. Obviously you're gonna have to see it on the stream delay, but yeah, I have not
I
opened
need to
that
go
yet.
to PAX next year.
This was PAX the day, like the couple months before New Horizons dropped. They did the demo there, and
Oh,
yeah. So this is,
no,
uh,
wait, you went to PAX East in 2020 then?
yeah. I had been doing PAX East for a few years before that, so I did like I think 2018, 19, and 20,
Got
and
it.
that I have kept that pin in its little bag because I am like that is my keepsake. It and also I was like I feel like there's like value, so.
Yeah.
But maybe I'll have to give it to somebody who'll appreciate it more in a couple weeks.
Hey.
Hey, what?
That is a prized possession of
Yeah.
yours. What do you mean?
But you are there, the Animal Crossing person, and I like to give my friends gifts.
Oh, thank you. I need to put more pins. I have a bulletin board behind my. This is one of my favorite decorated parts of my room is my bulletin board. So I'm really sad that you guys don't see that in my streams. But I have like some like little spaces left that I would love to put little pins in. I have an Animal Crossing one already. And like one is like a streamer's merch, one is like a Taylor Swift joke.
I have
But
like
I
a
need to put
mini.
more. I have so many from TwitchCon that I haven't.
I have a
put on.
mini like cork board here. Hang on. I know you're to take a second to be able to see it because of stream delay, but like I have
Yeah, I'm not
this
gonna see it
one,
for a few
and I want to get a
seconds.
bigger one for when I end up moving because like it's decent size, but I'm like I want to have
That's
more to be able to
cute.
like express all that on.
I also got buttons recently from like a little stationery shop, and I want to start putting those on like a
Oh,
either like. Oh, want to know what those would be cute on? The bag that it gets better scent. It's not within reach of me
that's okay.
currently.
I got mine.
But
I got mine.
the blue Argyle one from American Eagle
It's okay. I got
that
it.
it
I
gets
can
better
show it off
scent,
here.
that would be a cute bag to
Thanks.
put
It
things
gets
on.
better for sending us these.
Thank you. Yes, that one. It's so cute. It gets better is
They
wonderful,
spoil us.
and we got to have some of the products that they're working with
Yeah.
for Pride this year.
They spoil us really. I don't know about you. I've already been using like some of the products, and I'm like, oh, I am so happy with these.
I need to go to the grocery store and buy yogurt so I can try the granola because it looks so good.
The granola, I'm not a peanut butter person, but I was like, I know my mom will really appreciate this, and I've already seen
Yeah.
the bag is open, so I'm like, all right, she's going into it already.
Yeah, I I got a Funko Pop last year from them.
Yeah, I have,
It
it's
was
actually,
from
like, sitting...
Tiffany from Queer Eye, and I don't watch
Yeah.
Queer Eye, so I gave that one to Olive's Crossing, actually.
You might be able to
I,
see it,
like,
like, in the
flew it to
corner right
TwitchCon
there.
and gave it to her then.
It's, like, sitting, like, right there in the corner. You might be able to see it. It's also got the Uno deck right there. It's, like, really far back, but it's in the box. Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah, so it sits right there from the last time from that box there.
It gets better. I love you so much.
Yeah.
Thank you for everything.
It Gets Better brought us together today.
Exactly!
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, this has been a really good conversation. I've
had such a lovely time. I've been looking forward to this.
I'm glad. I don't know about you, but I get a lot of like anxiety reaching out to people to like come onto streams and like do stuff like this. So I think that's like one of my biggest issues when it comes to like wanting to do content with other people. I want to be around more people and do more things, but I'm almost like afraid of like that rejection. And
yeah.
I think again, I think that we kind of like touched on this with like that fear of judgment, but like I had a very, ever since like growing up, like I've had this like fear of rejection. And
yeah, me too.
so it's so you get it. Like it makes it really hard to like ask people to come onto things, but at the same time, I'm like, please ask me to come onto like your streams. I want to do stuff with you, but I'm like, I don't want to seem desperate. But like, I like doing stuff with friends. I like being able to have conversations, and I think that this is like, I know a lot of people that are watching here have been just kind of sitting and soaking it in and just kind of like listening to the conversations, but I do hope that it's felt like something that is something that we all feel like you got something out of it, even if it wasn't, I don't want it to just feel like it's like two friends just having a conversation and you're just sitting here listening to it. Like I want it to feel like there was something more that was gotten out of these conversations, and I think that's also like my hard thing when it comes to that. I deal with like those needing of like almost like instant gratification, instant like recognition.
Yeah. I feel like with reaching out to people online, I've learned that people in most cases are a lot nicer and friendlier and feel the exact same way that you do in these situations. I saw a creator that I look up to tweet recently that was like, if you guys want to talk to me, you can do that. Like, you can always message me, like my mutuals and friends, like whatever. And I messaged them, I sent them their own tweet and was like, the way I've been wanting to like reach out to you for so long because of like this common thing between us. And she was like, oh my god, no, you're absolutely not overstepping my boundaries. And I was like, okay, slay. Like, the worst that they could do is like say no or show their true colors, which has nothing to do with you.
I think that's like such a big thing too with me, where I'm like, I'm afraid that I'm overstepping. I feel like, I don't want to say overbearing, but I feel like I have this personality where once I get comfortable with you, I'll let you get Cooper real quick.
He's just was looking at me strangely, so that's why I made that face.
Yeah,
Can I just see what your sister? Cooper, you are homophobic if you don't sit on this chair with me right. No, I'm kidding. Come here though, please.
I felt like I feel like once I get comfortable with somebody, I have a hard time. Like I get very quick to want to talk to you about it, and I feel like I have such a like a personality where I'm like, I just want to talk to you a lot, but I have to also recognize that some people are a little bit more, I don't want to say reserved, but maybe like introverted, and so it's a harder time for them to like discuss those kinds of things. And for me, it's like I have to allow myself to let people feel like comfortable or let people want to like talk to me. I shouldn't be the one like approaching everybody, because like obviously everybody's different with those. And yeah, that's been like my big struggle of like making a lot of new friends lately, has been that so I'm very thankful that
Me too.
came on and we got to do this.
Thank you so much for having me. I was so honored and excited when you asked me to do this. So, I would love to do more of these kinds of things. I would love to do more of these things like on my own streams too. Oh
Yeah.
hi, you go up.
Oh, look at
You just
him.
go sit.
Back in his house. Back in his spot.
Back in his spot.
When you sleep in the bed, does he sleep right there too?
Nope, because
Oh,
that's
okay.
where my legs go. I sleep on this side.
Oh, okay.
But he'll sit like on my pillows, like this side of the bed is where I sleep, and that's where he'll go. Well, I'm
Aww.
getting ready for bed or at night, and I'm like, nice try. But sometimes he's just so cute that I don't move him, and I like will go like lie on the other side until he decides to move. And I'm like, okay, cool, thanks.
I think if I were to like, my biggest thing with like between like a picking between like a cat and a dog was always like, dogs like to think that they're like or like sometimes a bigger dog likes to think they're a lap dog, and I'm like, I don't want like
Yeah.
70 pounds jumping on me. So but like your dog seems like, I have to remember that like there's dogs like your dogs that just sit like a nice
He weighs
comfortable
12
size.
pounds.
Yeah, which is like the size of like what a cat can be, you know.
Yeah, he's like also smaller than a lot of other Havaneses we've met.
Wait, your dog's a Havanese?
Yeah.
That is what the dog that my grandmother had for like 15
Really?
years. Yeah.
Oh, that's so wonderful. I love the Havaneses. They're the best.
Yeah, he was great. We loved him very much.
Yeah, I hope you get to meet him at GoFest.
I will. Well, I mean, you're planning your little friend time at your house, so I'll have to.
Yeah, that is secret information.
That's why
yeah.
That's why I left it vague.
Yeah.
I was good.
Yeah. I just like don't want random people showing
No,
up
I
to
get
be
no, I get that.
private.
That's again. That's why I left it vague. I knew better than to talk
Yeah.
about it there.
Yeah. Thank you.
Of course. Gotta, you know. I think sometimes I'm very quick to like talk about something, and I have to like be like, wait, no, let me go vague about something because I'm like, I don't want to.
Yeah, I've done that too. The way I've almost doxed myself so many times. So I'll be like, I'll accidentally say the name of like where I work or the camp I grew up going to or something, and I'm like, oops.
I come from a family of teachers, like I mentioned before, so I am like deathly afraid of like the last name being found out. So I'm like, great, you find out the last name, then you can just like find like where my family like works or like teachers, and I'm like, yeah. So like that's like my big like thing, especially because I found myself feeling really comfortable at NAIC and at a Pokemon event where I now want to compete next year, and yeah,
Yay!
so I'm excited for that. There was a lot of like support, and like the community was really welcoming, especially just like, you know, I think there's not a lot of like women that I've seen like compete at like the and so like that's like an inspiring thing for me to want to do that. But I'm like, but they've used first and last names, so I have to like figure out how I can hide like that information here. Hi, Jen.
Yeah, it's so good to see you.
Look at that. And hi, Leah. Welcome in. Hi, Pride people. Look, it's
Is
so
Jen
nice.
an ambassador?
I don't think so. I think Jen was hosting. Yeah, Jen, you were hosting like a Minecraft thing this week, right? If I remember correctly.
Oh, were you part of Pride Village this week? If you were, I have to go on the server and see what you built.
Yeah, I think. Jen, I'm sure she'll answer in a second, but I think that yes, I was right. Look at me go. I remember seeing the notification in the Discord about it, so yeah, maybe I'll have to get access to it. I didn't actually look, but I feel like
it's so fun.
a lot of our friends have been like in this like Minecraft phase, but I also haven't wanted to message them and be like, can I join your server? But also I think I'm on like a Minecraft kick right now.
Yeah, I have some lovely Minecraft friends who are like more YouTube based, but like I met them through my emote artist who also does Minecraft stuff on YouTube.
Aw.
And we've been doing like, we call it Chill Unserious Minecraft server. Chill Unserious Survival is this name of our server. And it's because like they're Minecraft content creators, and so they have to be a lot more serious with what they make, and like they make much more elaborate things.
Yeah.
But like on our little server, we just like chill and do whatever we want. Like we just beat the Ender Dragon in 5 hours one day. It was really funny. It was my first dragon fight too.
Oh, that's
And
exciting.
I've been playing Minecraft for like 12 years.
I I think I was there for one fight when we did like a friend server on with streamers like a few years ago. But I also
Yeah.
realized when I was playing it, I found myself enjoying being on the server a lot, but not wanting to stream any of me playing on the server. It's like one of those games where I was just like, this is really good for me to like have a brain off and just play. I did like
Mhm.
a and so like I'm like I kind of want that where it's like I need games like that, especially like unwinding after a stream where it's like I think Minecraft would be great for that.
Yeah, Minecraft is so fun.
I didn't let myself enjoy it growing up because it was like at that age where like it just started coming out and I was like, "Oh, but like it's too young for me. It's too baby." And like
Yeah, wait, Jen, is that VOD available? Because I'd love to see what you said about my Pride Zoo.
yeah, Jan, is it
I
available?
wasn't able to get purple axolotls in time, but
Aw. You bought a buy flag last year, still trying to figure out where to put it? Oh hell yeah. I have this flag because I was raising money this month. So it sits there and then immediately I have to like fold it up nicely and I like put it to the side because I'm like I can't really leave you here. That's my bed that I sleep on. I don't know if you've ever heard this. I set this up every time I'm streaming.
I was
All
gonna
of
say you
yeah.
have to like redo all the plushies every
Yes.
single day.
Every
Because I'm like,
stream.
oh, with like my like 10.
Yeah,
Oh
I
my god.
have two laundry bins that I have where I take them and I put all of them in there and they're in a different room even because I take up too much room now in my room. So I have to
Oh my
I walk
god.
them out into the storage room which is like right there and I'll walk
That's
myself
so
back in.
funny.
This is like 10 minutes to put all the pillows back there. I put my two comforters in the back and like I organize it in a way to have like the colors of the blankets like it's like the methodical part of me setting it up.
Yeah.
I put all of the big plushies in like one laundry bin, so they're like the base ones that I put down first. All the
That's so
littlest
funny.
ones go at the front. Like it is, yeah, it is a an order. But my hope is, so I'm moving to Seattle in a couple months, and when I'm out there, I want to take as many of these as I can, but I don't want to
Yeah.
have to set it up all the time. So I want to have like a corner in the room that's just all of the plushes
Yeah.
like set up nicely, and like I could almost like use that as like a like how people have like beanbag chairs. I want that to be like my
Hmm.
beanbag chair where I sit in the pile of the plushes in the corner and like I don't have to move you. Everything's good over there, and although if I get cats, they probably would try to like bury themselves in there. So maybe I'd
That
have
would
to
be
do.
very cute.
It would
We
be.
do have the same Kirby one, I think. I got this one from Nintendo New York.
I
And then
didn't
this
get.
one right here is Fuecoco that I also got the same day. They're
I
besties
did.
in my
I think I got
headcanon,
these as
these two.
Christmas gifts. So I don't know if they
Aww.
were
Also, is that a blue one?
from.
You have a shiny Kirby?
You know how in Smash Brothers you can have like different color Kirby's? I have the
Oh, yeah.
alternate
I've never
yeah.
played Smash.
Oh, okay. Although this one lost its tag. But yeah, these are 20th
Oh, I think
anniversary
I just ripped
Kirby's.
the tags off of mine immediately and
I
was like,
try
alright.
I try not to take the tags off. That's like my one thing. Even like
Yeah.
some of these tags are really big. Let me find the yeah, here. So, this is the Fido plush that I have. I love him.
I'm not gonna see it for a couple
And
seconds because of stream
he
delay, but I trust you. Yeah.
sorry, my
Okay, there
earbuds
it
came
is.
out. But like this tag is look at how big
It's
this tag
really
is.
cute.
He's so cute, but this tag is giant. Like it's
Does Otto have emotes of that Pokemon? Oh wow, the
possible.
tag is bigger than the stuffed animal.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. The tag is like I can hide him behind the tag.
That's so funny.
Maybe you can hang it up in your room, Aaliyah.
Yeah.
Welcome on in, Carly. You're just here for like the end of the conversations. It's been a
We're
good time
just
though.
gay banter.
Yeah, it's the gay banter time. It's the hanging out here. You got a Chef Kirby. Oh, I also have like big Kirby right here.
Chef
Like
Kirby? Oh my god.
yeah, at the very end, that pink is another Kirby. It's Kirby holding like a little heart. It's really cute.
Oh, I love
Yeah.
that.
My first game that I actually ever learned how to speedrun was a Kirby game. So I had like a big like Kirby phase, and that was a fun month of just like that was because I'd always wanted to get into speedrunning, but I couldn't ever figure out what I wanted to do. And
Yeah.
that Kirby game dropped, and I was like, this is perfect. I had such a fun time with it.
I would love to learn how to speed run video games, but I'm just so not fast in anything that I
But
do
I
with
I
video
know that
gaming.
there's like an all gold weapon speedrun in Animal Crossing. That's like a one that I've seen people do.
I found the VOD with Jen and Maggie
Oh, heck yeah.
looking at Pride Village, and I'm saving it in another tab for later.
Yeah, all golden tools. There's also golden net speedruns or golden rod speedruns.
Yeah, I would love to do Stardew speedruns. I almost
Oh,
did the Mayo percent speedrun for Stardew, which is we're basically like with the new update, like we used to not be able to drink mayonnaise in the game, but now we can.
yes. I do remember that information coming out.
Yeah, so there was like a big Mayo percent like run day, like in May or something.
Oh, that'll be fun.
Yeah, it already happened, but
Oh,
I would
sorry.
love to learn.
You said
Like, I
in
feel like
May.
that's like
My
a
brain,
good
yeah.
first. It was in May, but
Hmm.
I feel like it would be a good like first speed run.
Yeah, I think that's fair. I think that's really like find like the first. It's the hardest part when it comes to like a speedrun is like finding like the first game that you want to start with. But
Yeah.
there's this really cute game that's free online right now. It's called Doronko
Ooh.
Wonko. It's a
Oh.
it's a game where you're a little pug and you're trying to make a mess in the house. And I learned that there was like
Where is
no
it?
it's on Steam. I'll link it to you real quick, the name of it. And
Please.
I saw that there was no like people who had like ran one of the categories. So for 2 weeks I held the world record in that game for that category because I was the only person who submitted a run there. But I was like, I'm genuinely having a fun time with this. Like it's a short game. It's very like it could take you like an hour and a half at most, but it's a really good time.
Yeah.
Oh, Estella, thank you so
Oh,
much for
great!
raiding in. I am for it is we have like 5 minutes left, but thank you so much for raiding in. Happy Pride. Everyone coming in from Estella's stream. Hi, my name is Beginning. I'm with my lovely friend Allie today. We've been doing some Pride stream
Hello.
chats and hangouts today. I do only have about 5 minutes left of our stream, but if you are unfamiliar with It Gets Better, It Gets Better is an LGBTQIA plus charity that is celebrating, and empowering queer youth, helping with youth storytelling, and trying to just, you know, when we are both ambassadors for it. So I've been on here for over 2 years now. Allie's been here for a year and a half, and today's been just pride conversations, having a nice chat with everybody. I know that there are plenty of other ambassadors on here aside from myself. There are folks, I think even like gonna be live tomorrow. So, Twitch matched your donation? Heck yeah, that's so exciting. So, if you want to watch more It Gets Better stuff, there's also gonna be people
Yay!
tomorrow. Yeah. So, Pebbles, hello. Razzie, hello. Malara, hello. Dahlia, hello. Existential, hello. And like, yeah, I don't have the power to do shout outs, unfortunately. But, please go
Yes,
follow.
we kind of do.
We do?
Well, not for other people, but for ourselves.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I was like, I wanted to do the slash shout out for people, but please go support Estella for coming in with the raid. Anybody who is still here from Allie's raid or my own raid, go.
Oh, I spelled yours wrong.
It's okay. It's two N's, but it's fine. I wasn't gonna say anything.
I'm not good at spelling.
It's okay. It's okay. I always want to. I do it for math, but I have a saying where I'm like, look, I don't have to do math. I have Twitch chat to do the math for me. Twitch chat does all the work
Yeah.
for us, you know.
With math stuff, I feel like I just have certain things memorized.
I just like there's sometimes I want to do quick math, and I'm just like, chat, what's 18 times 7? I don't want to do it for someone. Do it for me.
180 minus 18 times 3. That's how my brain decided to do that.
You know what? Hey, it works. It works. But I hope you had a very lovely stream, Estella. And yeah, we're winding down here, but Allie, I really do appreciate you again making time for me today. I know you weren't sure if you
Thank
were
you
even
so
gonna have
much
time.
for inviting me to join you on your
Yeah,
cohort stream today.
of course.
I
I
really
hope that
appreciate it
the
so much.
people who watched here enjoyed the time. We got a couple minutes left. I don't know if you want to stay or you want to go get yourself ready to, uh,
I can chill for the last few
yeah.
minutes.
Okay. Yeah, that's totally fine. So, thank you for yeah, being here. So, everybody who is here, I hope you all are doing well. Again, my name is Beginning. My pronouns are she, her. I have been an ambassador with It Gets Better pretty much since it came onto Twitch. It's been about 2.5 years now. This is my last cohort stream. I don't know if I'm going to be brought back on after today, but I feel like I always get like a little like bittersweet when it's about to end because I'm like I never know if I'm gonna be back after this, and I really love being able to do what I do here. So if this is my last time, if I have to come back in 6 months, who knows? But it gets better. I always appreciate you allowing me to have this platform. I I appreciate you helping me bring together someone like Allie and someone who I get to become closer friends with. So,
Thank you. It gets better for literally everything. As you can tell by the conversation that I had with Chloe today, we both care so deeply about the queer community and being advocates for the queer community, and we wouldn't have the voices that we have as much as we can without you. So
yeah,
thank you so much to It Gets Better for
exactly.
that. I really, really am so thankful for the opportunities that I've had because of you.
Yeah, the amount of opportunities that I have been presented, that I would not have if It Gets Better, I will never take for granted. And you know, Charlie, yes, I did not do something bad. I understand that it sounds like that, but no, I just haven't been offered the contract yet. It's
Yeah,
so
we
who knows
we
what'll happen.
yeah.
Mhm.
I'm in the same boat that I hope that I get to do more of this in the future,
Yeah.
but
All right.
regardless of what happens, I'll always be supporting It Gets Better and raising money and everything.
Yeah, 100%. I think no matter what, again, like I said, like I would like to just be able to work here at some point. Like that's how I feel about this place. So if I'm not an ambassador for them, I still want to do stuff for them.
I just want to be Mia when I grow up.
True. We love Mia here.
I just want to be Mia when I grow up. We love Mia. I'm nothing if not a Mia standout.
Real. All right. I'm gonna hang up the call here. I'm gonna go raid another former ambassador. So I'm gonna send everyone over there who they can appreciate. Somebody was actually here earlier today. So if you want to stick around for that raid, I will.
Thank you so much for having me, Chloe.
Yeah, of course. Thank you for hanging out. We'll talk more tonight after you're done with your dinner.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Bye.
You can message me regardless.
Yeah, we'll do. All right. Sounds like a plan. All right, chat. Thank you so much for everybody who stopped by today. I hope you enjoyed our conversations. I'm going to set up a raid, and you're going to go over to our friend Joopy. Joopy is a former ambassador, and she is doing a lot of Palea stuff. Is it IGB raid? I don't remember the command. But oh, there you go. Happy Pride. So copy and paste that message here. You're going to go hang out there. Thank you. It Gets Better for all the times you've been able to let me be on this platform. And hopefully this isn't the last time you see me here. But thank you